This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, your new home for the Jim Rome Show. Weekdays at noon.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Cowboys are back at it in Oxnard following that 28-23 preseason loss to Jacksonville on Saturday. Plenty of good things to look at, but one glaring weakness, offensive line depth. We're going to be talking about that. Hey, an opposing Big 12 defensive coordinator still believes that redshirt freshman Arch Manning could unseat Quinn Ewers. Could he really? We'll talk about it. Horns, by the way, ranked 11th in the first AP poll.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is that, and it is Monday. Hello, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix with the day off. He'll be back with us tomorrow. But in the meantime, we're going to react and overreact and get crazy about all kinds of stuff that happened this weekend. My goodness, what a great weekend it was. I hope you all had a great weekend. I know Mondays come around fast and it's crazy, you know, because you wake up and you go, man, it's Monday already? What happened? I wish all the days would go by that fast. And I guess sometimes that they do. But, man, Saturday and Sunday certainly do. But it was a great weekend. Played a little golf on Saturday. It was hot, but played a little golf. It was fun. Nice. And yesterday, big party courtesy of Rudy J. Quinceañera for his daughter Tatiana. And it was a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you, it was a lot of fun. So I know Rudy had fun. He had to have celebrating his daughter. Man, he looked sharp. If you've seen the pictures of Rudy J in that tuxedo that he had on, my goodness, it was pretty incredible, pretty impressive. And so I know he had a good time. He was such a proud papa. I'm going to tell you that last night. You could see it on his face, and rightly he should be, because it was a great event and certainly a, what do you call it, monumental birthday, 15th birthday party for your daughter. I guess that's the coming out, and she's becoming a young lady at that point in time. So a lot of fun there. We had a good time. Rob Thompson and I were there with our wives, Maggie and Kelly, and we had a good time talking to Rudy and Anna and everybody, the whole family. And my goodness, a bunch of high school kids showed up. I'm assuming they were high school kids, but that place was packed. It was incredible. So a lot of fun to be had there. I know Rudy's probably going to be talking a lot more about that as we get started and continue on as he comes back tomorrow morning for R&R in the morning. We got to react to a lot of stuff that happened, though, over the weekend. First and foremost, the Dallas Cowboys playing a preseason game. And I got to tell you guys something, because, and I know that I've been kind of, I wouldn't say critical is the word, but kind of underwhelmed by running back Deuce Vaughn, saying he's a gadget player. He looked good Saturday. I'm going to say that first and foremost. He looked pretty good Saturday. 50 yards on the ground, 8 carries. But, man, as soon as he scored that touchdown, my phone blew up. I know Joe's happy, and Deuce and all of this, man. I mean, it was just blowing up. So I appreciate all the texts and all of that stuff and everything that you guys, you want to rub it in there. That's good. It was a preseason game. He looked good. Let's see how we continue on. I think there is a little overreaction when it comes to Deuce Vaughn, because now I see headlines now from a lot of national types and Dallas types saying, Deuce Vaughn, he's in that mix for the number 2 running back. You really think so? The number 2 running back? Come on. Deuce Vaughn, I think still a change of pace, still a gadget player, we'll see where we go from there. But you guys are certainly invited to react to anything that we're talking about here today. And the Dallas Cowboys, you want to react to Deuce? Tell me why I'm wrong. Please do so. 656-3776, 656 ESPN. You can call or text those numbers. You can get me on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, at Joe Reinagel 210. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe if you haven't done that, but you can also comment there. I want to talk about Deuce Vaughn, but I want to talk about some other players that stepped up and kind of got into the spotlight, if you will. And I want to know who you guys think, because I have mine. And Jason and I have talked about this. Last year at training camp, Will Grier was beating Cooper Rush. He would have been, in my opinion, the second string quarterback, and Cooper, who knows where he would have been right now. But Will Grier got hurt in training camp, and so Cooper Rush passed him by, and Will Grier went on to be on the practice squad. But Will Grier looked pretty good, I thought, on Saturday. And it's funny because I say that, and I got to know RJ Ochoa out of Oxnard, and we talk, and we had some debates, and going back and forth, which is a lot of fun, and I love it. But so he sends out a tweet yesterday, and I don't know the exact, so I'm kind of going to paraphrase, but he says, he's talking about Deuce Vaughn, he's talking about some of the receivers, he's talking about this and that, and I said, well, Will Grier played pretty good as well. Just retweeted him, and he went, and that's the only response I got. Now, I don't know about you guys, 22 of 31, 199 yards, couple of touchdowns. He did have an interception on Saturday, but I think he played a hell of a lot better than Cooper Rush. I think he's a better quarterback than Cooper Rush. The only thing that Cooper Rush has on Will Grier is experience. He has experienced the fire. He came in, saved the day, according to every Cowboy fan there is, and I have to agree with it. 4 out of 5 wins while Dak Prescott went down. So I get it. He's reliable. You trust him to come in and hold down the fort, steer the ship if something happens to Dak. I understand that. But at some point in time, we've been talking too, and I'm not going to let this go, and I know Pledge is not going to let this go. By the way, James Pledger producing this show, working one of those marathon days today. But I said on Friday that if Dak Prescott somehow miraculously leads the Cowboys to a Super Bowl, win or lose, that I'm going to do something stupid. Now, we haven't come up with anything like that. I want to get with our digital guys, and we'll have the whole thing, and we'll carry it out all season. But just wanted to make sure that you remember that, or if you weren't with us on Friday, that's what happened. And if you've got an idea, I'd like to hear from you at all the places that you can chime in: YouTube, Twitter, our phone line, 656-3776. So chime in there if you've got an idea about what we can do and how I can be made to look stupid. If by some miraculous turning of the tide, Dak is able to do that. Having said that, we've been talking about a plan B for the Cowboys. And it's a long shot. I get it. I understand. But it could be a guy like Will Grier. And I know you guys are laughing. Don't drive off the road. You say, I'm crazy. Continue my weekend, still have a cocktail here in the studio. I don't know. Think whatever you want to think. But at some point in time, you got to figure it out. And Mike McCarthy said as much. Remember that? He said that Will Grier is going to get a lot of playing time in the preseason, more so than Cooper Rush. And it doesn't look at this point that Dak Prescott is going to play at all in the preseason. And I scratch my head at that. Do you guys scratch your head at when somebody like Patrick Mahomes plays in a preseason game? You can say he doesn't need it, right? He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. Doesn't need to play in the preseason. Why are you playing? Why are you putting Patrick Mahomes in harm's way? Deshaun Watson, I understand why he's playing in the preseason. I get it. He needs the work. Justin Fields doesn't. Russell Westbrook, he played. I'm not sure he necessarily needs the reps in preseason. Derek Carr is another. Trevor Lawrence, Cowboy fans saw him. He threw the interception early in that game. But I just think that I think Dak needs to see some action. Don't you? Do you agree with that? Don't you agree with that? Are you scared that he's going to get hurt? I mean, what are the Cowboys afraid of by putting Dak Prescott in a preseason game? And I'm not talking about even a quarter's worth of play, but a series or two just to shake the rust off? Or are we just supposed to do that in practice? Now, we're going to hear from Mike McCarthy on that and his philosophy as to why or why not he's going to do that. We're going to hear from him because the Cowboys were back at Oxnard today. Mike McCarthy had a press conference, and Pledge was nice enough to pull that in, cut some of those things up. So we're going to hear from Mike McCarthy coming up in just a moment. But should Dak play? Should some of these other veterans play? Or are we all afraid that somebody's going to get hurt? I mean, that could happen in game one against the Giants just as easily, right? Or do you preface that by saying, well, it's a meaningful game, and if that happens, it's just bad luck. I just think to shake a little bit of the rust off in one of these next two preseason games, either Saturday night in Seattle or the final one. Who the hell do they play in that final preseason game? Not sure, but they got two left before they take a couple of weeks off and kick off the season against New York in the Meadowlands. So they played the Jags. What do we got, Pledge? You looking for it? Pledge is pulling up the schedule for me. And top producer that he is, they got the Las Vegas Raiders. That one also a Jerry World, I believe. So they've only got one road preseason game, and that's this week, and they'll play that one in Seattle. Late start out in Seattle on Saturday night, but it's a Saturday night, so who really cares? We'll watch it, and we'll see what happens. Did anybody stand out to you guys? Did anybody stand out to you guys? I have to say that Deuce Vaughn surprised me. I want to see how he goes. I'm not going to change my mind yet, but he did surprise me. If that's your guy, that's your guy. Was it Mozzie Smith? Was it Overshown? Was it because I've heard a lot of people talking about him? I don't know. Let me know. Jake Ferguson had a hell of a catch in that ball game. He's the guy. He's the guy. The next Jason Witten. Now, I don't know if you guys were scrolling around on Eric Ybarra on our YouTube line says, cut the hair. We know it won't happen. And you're right. It won't happen. I'm not going to be that stupid. I want to do something stupid, just dumb where I have to, I don't know, dress funny or something like that. Cutting the hair is easy, right? James on our text line says, I think you should have to wear a Chicago Cubs jersey all week if the boys make the Super Bowl. Now, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Did I say Russell Westbrook? Did I say that? People are saying Russell.
Possibly.
I guess I did. Russell Wilson. Sorry. Look at you guys, man.
Well, it kind of looked like Russell Westbrook out there.
Russell Wilson, not Westbrook. We're talking about babies in basketball today. One of them named James Harden. We'll talk more about James and his temper tantrum and doing something extremely stupid, I think, in China, calling Daryl Morey a liar, not once but twice. So we'll hear from James and what he said and what he hopes to accomplish by that. So it's Russell Wilson, everybody, not Westbrook. Russell Wilson. But thanks for correcting me. I got no problem with that, and you keep it up. Keep it up, everybody. Hey, did you see my new hat that I bought at training camp? I put it on the socials yesterday and asked the simple question: does wearing this hat make me a Cowboys fan? Did you see the hat? If you haven't, go to my Twitter account and check it out. I put it on Facebook as well. Man, people were reacting to that thing on Facebook left and right. I don't know what's a good score for likes when it comes to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever the case may be. I don't know what is considered a good. What would you say is considered a good number of likes for a particular post?
For likes on X
or Facebook. Let's start with Facebook because I'm going to go in here and
a couple hundred.
So that would be pretty good. Let me show you what my, I guess it's already come down. Can you find that thing, Pledge? I see the picture. Last check at 493. 493. All you Cowboy fans are hoping. I think the invite's been put out there. You want me to come, be a Cowboys fan, and there it is. So I don't know where the story is. It kind of went away. It was on my story, Pledge, and those last for like 24 hours, I guess. So I think it already went away because I must have posted it about this time or an hour or so ago. This time yesterday, Maggie and I were going out to the golf store, but there was a delay in the golf tournament. And so we went over there. We wanted to get some stuff and went to the PGA Superstore. I'd never been there. That's a hell of a place over there. Have you been there, Pledge? That one over, the new one on Blanco?
The one across from Target?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite the place.
That's right there where I get my Chinese food.
Ah, okay.
Joaquin.
Yeah. Been there before. But anyway, so I wore that hat out to the PGA Superstore, but before I left, took a picture and just said, hey, does this make me a Cowboys fan? So if you haven't seen it, I know it still lives on Twitter somewhere. It's a great hat. It's one of the sideline hats that has got the cowboy on the horse, and it says established in 1960. And I thought it was a pretty cool hat, so I had to get it. But I don't know if that makes me a Cowboy fan or not. So I'll leave that to you guys, and we'll go from there. But a lot of you liked the fact that I was wearing a cowboy hat. It was fun, and I like it. I thought it looked pretty good too on me. I must say. So there we go. So we're going to be talking a lot of Cowboys, a lot of NBA. My goodness, the Hall of Fame ceremony. Whether you've seen it or not, and I've seen most all of the speeches more than once. But man, emotional, especially Becky Hammond. Her speech and her compliment to Greg Popovich. We'll hear from that. Ian Rappaport has just sent out a tweet today, and I want to make sure that this is legit. The Cowboys and Zach Martin have reached a deal. That's what Rappaport is reporting. I'm going to check that out. If that is the case, that is fantastic news. And boy, it makes this show just all that much better. Your reaction to that. That's right. Breaking news. Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin have reached a deal that is going to end his holdout, return him to the team. Mike Garofalo says a common sense solution brings Martin back. I've seen no details as to what it could be, but apparently, according to all the socials, have you got it here, Pledge?
I got it.
Oh, $18 million. Let's see. It's the Cowboys and Martin have agreed on a raise over 2 seasons. He gets more than $18 million overall through his contract, a raise of more than $8 million. Now, remember, Martin was making about $13.5 annually on his current 6-year deal. And if this holds out, and I have no reason to believe that it will not, Zach Martin's coming back, and he's getting about an $8 million raise. So where he'll be in the neighborhood of $18 million a year over the next 2 years. And what's good about that is the Cowboys didn't have to extend him. And that was part of the problem that they didn't want to do, because look, Zach's going to be 35 years old when this contract runs up. All right, your reactions to all of that, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. On our YouTube channel, you can chime in there. You can get me on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210. Zach Martin coming back. Let's talk about it on the other side. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Saturday, it's the Cowboys and Seahawks at 8 p.m.
First and goal at the 7. Read option. He keeps. Big hole. Walk the dog. Put his leash up on the rack.
Presented by the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tin, AA Best Bail Bonds, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2023 Hunters Extravaganza. This weekend at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out hunting seminars, all the latest hunting equipment, last season's best bucks from our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com. This weekend at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. The 2023 Hunters Extravaganza.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You know, you've probably heard me talking about Stevens Roofing for a long time now. Summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Did you know our hot Texas sun pounding down on your roof can degrade and age your roof? You need a reliable roofer, and that is Stevens Roofing. They're online at stevensroofing.net, or you can give them a call at 210-785-0994. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Welcome to What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. Today's caller is Gio. What's up?
Hey, Jake, what if I'm shopping for a new policy, but there are so many options that I freeze up and just can't choose?
It's okay. An agent can help you choose the right coverage. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Oh, now what if I need help deciding on dinner?
Tacos.
Good idea.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Hi, Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I want to tell you about BraintreeNutrition.com. You know, if you've listened to my show for any length of time over the 15 years I've been doing this, having trouble sleeping is something that I've dealt with, either not sleeping through the night or plain insomnia. And that has changed recently with a sleep aid from BraintreeNutrition.com. Now, I've tried many sleep aids over the years that either didn't work or I woke up feeling groggy. I tried this one from Braintree to support a friend of mine, Andrew Sendejo, who, of course, played at Rice and in the NFL for a dozen years. Well, Andrew and a couple of his buddies from Rice and some doctors, including a neurologist, developed BrainTreeNutrition.com. They have 4 different lines that will help your overall brain health. I've been using Restore, which helps with sleep, and it's been great for me, and Think, which helps with focus. Brain health is mental health. Learn more and order online at BrainTreeNutrition.com. BrainTreeNutrition.com.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, James Harden is mad. Will he be a Sixer? And Daryl Morey's a liar? We'll look at that from every angle. The Dallas Cowboys are back in Oxnard. Are you worried, Cowboy fan? Did the offensive line give you problems? We'll talk about the answers. Now back to the Blitz. Joe all alone again. We're getting used to it. Great show, my friend.
Well, thanks, Rob. And it just got better over the last 5 minutes because if you're just joining us, Cowboys and All-Pro guard Zach Martin have reached an agreement on a reworked deal. The new deal is going to pay him north of $18 million over the next 2 seasons. So his salary has been raised from $13.5 this year to $18 million, and then he was scheduled to make $14 million next year. That's going to be $18 million. So he got a raise in both years. The good news there is that the Cowboys didn't extend him, and they didn't want to extend him. That was part of the holdup. They didn't want to extend him. Look, Zach Martin's going to be 33 years old in November. He would have been 35 when the extension would have kicked in. Now, they could have given him a whole new contract with an additional year, but instead they just reworked the last 2 years of this current contract. So Zach Martin in-house, the holdout is now over. He will be there. And I tell you what, if you watch the game on Saturday afternoon, you know that is welcome news because that offensive line was not good. And my goodness, Norma Vidal says this news made my day. I think it's made every Cowboys fan's day because if there was a glaring weakness in this team amid all the other good news is the fact that the offensive line was struggling, especially the depth. Vince Trevino on our YouTube channel says now the Cowboys need to cut Dak and sign a real quarterback. Don't get me started, Vince. He's trying to poke the bear there. Figs 2022. Vince Trevino tells us you know nothing. Tells us you know nothing about football without telling us. Okay, so now you guys are going back and forth. Doesn't matter. Look, I guess I don't know much about football either. Although I'm willing to give Dak a shot this year, but that's it. That's
I can't wait to see you in some kind of crazy get up.
So is that your prediction pledge that the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl?
No.
All right.
I just would like to see it.
Well, everybody would. Well, for a couple of reasons. The biggest is the Cowboys would be in the Super Bowl again, and then I would have to do something stupid. That we're going to still figure that out. But that certainly is a big step toward doing that. Zach Martin back. What a good way to start a Monday afternoon, having him back. They need him. I don't think there's any question about it. John Machota tweeted out just a few minutes ago when this news broke that Jerry Jones didn't speak to the media after the game on Saturday. And the feeling was that he didn't do that because well, they were working on something with Zach Martin. Apparently, that's absolutely the case, and it is done. Got done maybe today, but it just came out. And all the NFL insiders are saying that. Even Clarence Hill has tweeted that. Machota has tweeted out. So it is all but official. John Machota just sent out the projected starting offense for week number 1 for the Cowboys. And I think it's interesting. At quarterback, obviously, Dak Prescott. You got Tony Pollard. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup. And I'm losing that. Hang on one second. Here we go. Tight end, Jake Ferguson. Left tackle, Tyron Smith. Left guard, Tyler Smith. Center, Tyler Biadasz. Right guard, Zach Martin, and right tackle, Terrence Steele. You look at that lineup right there, it looks pretty good. Terrence Steele, a question mark perhaps until we see him play. Is he back? I think he will be. I don't think there's any question there, but having Zach Martin back makes all of that much better. And so now the Cowboys have got to feel better about it. Still begs the question, though, should Dak Prescott see some playing time in the preseason? I wonder. A guy like Tony Pollard, I wouldn't. Running backs, that's a more iffy proposition than, say, a quarterback, but I'm not sure. Let's go to our phone lines at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. We've got Paul on the line, and he wants to chime in on this Cowboys bet. Paul, what's going on? Welcome to the Blitz.
How you doing, Joe?
Good.
What's my deal?
What's that?
Cowboy fan go to training camp next year.
Okay, you're going to have to say it again. You broke up, Paul. Hit me one more time.
Okay, Cowboys win Super Bowl. You stay at home. Let a real Cowboy fan go to training camp next year. You can have a contest.
Well, who would you
I brought it up, I can go.
You're suggesting yourself, huh?
Exactly. I'm a real Cowboy fan.
Yeah, well, that's good. You'd be happy they got to the Super Bowl, Paul. Appreciate the phone call.
I would be.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate it very much. And that ain't happening, obviously. Yeah, I just told you I wore a Cowboys hat yesterday out in public, for goodness sake. What else do I need to do? Damn good-looking hat, too. I'm telling you, it's a damn good-looking hat. Wow. Offensive line, it was a problem. And Mike McCarthy, after the game the other night, even said as much.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a concern. I mean, just, because, when you look at the way you practice, I mean, the goal is, and concern is not, because I don't want this going down that road. It's a focus would be a better, so scratch that. It's a focus, because you always would like to get to a point in camp where we have your five guys that you're going to try to get connected and get into a rhythm and so forth. We're obviously not at that point. We have some veterans, we have some moving parts. So on the flip side of that, it does create a lot of opportunity for our young players. And just talking with Josh Ball before I come in here, I'm excited to see what he, how his game went. He asked me how he did. I said, well, I got this new gig. I'm kind of sorry I didn't get to watch it tonight, but this is good for us. I mean, I think this will pay dividends in the long run. But but at some point, you do want to get into that routine of getting five guys working together.
Do you think Mike McCarthy actually believes in what he just said there? The young guys need some work. Sure, they do. Mike McCarthy, and I just wonder how much head coaches know. I'm sure they're in the loop and know that Jerry and Steven are talking to Zach and negotiating and trying to get something done. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't know that he believed anything that he just said right there about that. So Mike McCarthy has got to be over the moon today that this news is out and that he heard about it and that Zach Martin is coming back to the Dallas Cowboys. He's got to be over the moon. The other thing that happened on Saturday, and don't take this as I'm coming around to this guy being an every down back or even the number 2 running back for the Dallas Cowboys, but Deuce Vaughn has got some moves. I think we can all agree with that, right? He's got some moves. I don't think there's any question about it. And basically what he showed, 8 carries, 50 yards, scored a touchdown. My phone blew up from Cowboys fans and Deuce Vaughn fans after that happened. But he said what Saturday taught him is that he belongs.
Just that I belong. I feel like that's the biggest thing for myself of coming in and proving people that believe in me right. And it doesn't stop now. You go back to work on Monday and you get ready for the next preseason game.
There you go. So Deuce Vaughn says that he belongs. And the way he played the other day, perhaps. Is he going to be a guy that they're going to rely on for, 10, 15 carries a game? I'm not sure. On our text line, 0811 says, yeah, not a gadget guy, not in all caps. And we'll see about that, 0811. We'll see if that's the case. Let's get back to the phone lines before we take a break because John says that he's got an opinion on whether Dak should play in the preseason. John, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I messaged RJ when y'all were over there at the training camp that he disagreed about him playing, and then I called y'all when you were in the studio in LA, and I think you agreed with me that he needs to play. But Minix, he doesn't want him to play because Terry's gonna get hurt. You look at yesterday, Mahomes scrambled on the first play and slid and everything. They're playing like chicken. The Cowboys. I think now with Zach back, if he doesn't play, I mean my head's gonna explode because you look at the first 2 games. The Giants and the Jets. I've been watching that Hard Knocks. Man, they could go 0-2. And if they go 0-2, forget it. I mean, there's a danger they go 1-5 before the bite. If they could implode if that's the case for those first 2 games. And those defenses are no joke. So I'll hang up and listen, Joe. Thanks.
Wow. Well, thanks for the phone call, John. Appreciate that. I don't think Zach Martin's going to play in any preseason games. I would be shocked if he does. And by that, I think Dak probably won't either. McCarthy has said as much, and McCarthy did speak today in Oxnard. So we'll talk about that. We'll hear from him coming up here in just a moment about what he feels about the veterans playing. If you've got a phone line, hang on to it. We're going to be taking those all day. But when we come back, We'll get your phone calls. When we come back, we're going to relive the memories, a few of them anyway, from the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Some of the speeches, especially Greg Popovich. Man, he had a lot of good things to say, and the one emotional moment that had everybody crying. We'll talk about that, more Cowboys, more Zach Martin, who ended his holdout today. He is coming back. That's when the Blitz continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning.
Tuesday on R&R in the morning. So much to talk about. The Cowboys are back in camp as the questions with the offensive line linger. Are they going to go get Zach Martin? Also, James Harden losing his mind in China. Daryl Morey is a liar. We're going to talk about that. And the 40 acres are alive with arch rumors. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're hit by a car, truck, or commercial vehicle, you need help with vehicle repairs, car rental, medical care, Davis Law Firm can help get your life back on track. For over 25 years, we have secured important verdicts and settlements for our clients, some in the millions of dollars. I'm Jeff Davis. If you were in a car or truck wreck or hit by a commercial vehicle, call the Fours right now. Call me at 444-4444. You got it. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4. Attorney consultation by appointment only. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner, personal injury attorney of the San Antonio Spurs.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. I want to take a moment to talk to you about advertising on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Yeah, we get this question quite a bit. Here's what you have to do. Contact Morgan Harrison via email. It's morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. From there, she's going to have one of our folks connect with you on how you can advertise right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Or since Alpha Media is a full-service advertising company, online, other radio stations, and even television, since that's just about all through the internet. Happy connecting.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have frequent and relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-652-5656. 800-652-5656. That's 800-652-5656.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
Oh, oh, oh.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. And a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you grilled or smoked, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market.
So good and tasty.
Grilling with the Blitz. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Monday. Cowboy fans I know are celebrating today. Zach Martin, the Cowboys have reached a deal. The holdout is over. Now Zach's got to pay his tab. What, about 250,000, 300,000? I'm not sure how many days. We'll have to do the math, but he owed $50,000 a day that he missed out, and the Cowboys can't just let that go. That's the problem. So Zach Martin's got to pay that tab, but he's got to make about $18 million this year and next. So a raise of about $8 million or so overall. All they did was rework the last 2 years of that contract. No extension, but he's going to be up there a little bit closer. I think when we figured it out, it was $20 million was about the highest paid offensive lineman. So Zach Martin climbs up that ladder significantly, and that is a good thing. We're talking Dallas question earlier in the show at 656-3776, 656-ESPN, on Twitter at Joe Reinagel 210, or our YouTube channel. You can chime in there as well. Who stood out to you in game one for the Dallas Cowboys, that preseason game on Saturday? Who was your standouts? For me, it was Will Grier. I thought Will Grier played very good football. I still think he's a talented guy that is better than Cooper Rush. We'll see how that plays out since Rush is playing on a new contract. But that was the guy, just right off the top of my head. Deuce Vaughn, I admit it, had a good game. 8 carries, 50 yards. I'm not saying that he's not a gadget player, but he had a good game the other day. So we'll see how he progresses and moves forward. I don't think he's going to be the number 2 running back for this Cowboys football team. But what did you think? Who stood out to you? Let's go back to the phone lines. Ryan, welcome to the Blitz. Who stood out for you?
I have to say both of the new rookies for the defense, Monty Smith and Overshown. If you look at it, it had to take multiple guys to stop Mozzie and Overshown to get to the quarterback.
You know, I mean, a lot of people are with you there, Ryan, and I appreciate the phone call. DeMarvion Overshown out of the University of Texas, I think he has taken some leaps and really gotten his name out there. That's for sure. As Mozzie, you know, I guess when you look at Mozzie, and I understand where you're coming from, when he and Jonathan Hankins were in that lineup at the same time, they were good. I mean, I don't know what other word to use that, but when both of those guys were in the lineup together, the question is, are you going to do that? And if you do that, who's coming out? Oso Digizua has been playing well in camp. DeMarcus Lawrence is DeMarcus Lawrence. So it's going to be interesting to see, but that is certainly some place that the Cowboys needed to improve on, was their run defense. That is for sure. So let me know who stood out to you in that game, and what would you like to see moving forward? And does anybody agree with me on Will Grier? Or am I just flying off the top here? I'm just curious. And if you don't agree with me, I'd like to know why. I think Will Grier looked good. Now, Pledge is raising his hand in there. He doesn't agree with me. Did you watch the game, Pledge?
I'm raising my hand because I do agree.
Oh, you do agree? Okay, I thought you disagreed. I agree. I think this guy, I'm not saying he's the Cowboys' future, but I think he's a better quarterback than Cooper Rush. I thought he did well on Saturday. So what do you guys think? Joshua Jimenez on our YouTube channel says Zach Martin not being there stood out. $8 million raise shows how much Jerry missed him too. Look, they know. And Jerry's not stupid. Steven's not stupid. All of these guys, they understand that with all the changes that they've made, the weapons that they've added, to have a problem with that offensive line. And look, I'm not sure Zach Martin fixes it completely. Certainly puts a big old Band-Aid on things, but that depth is concerning still. What you got to hope for, Cowboy fan, is that guys like, I don't know, you got Chuma Adoga, questionable, right? He's injured. So, he's a guy that can you count on him early on? I don't know. Asim Richards is another guy. Matt Farniak, Josh Ball, Matt Waletzko. Will those guys take a step? That's what you're going to have to hope for if something happens to those starting five. Let's go to the phone line, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Warren wants to talk about Will Grier. Warren, you agree or disagree?
Yeah, Joe, I didn't see the game, but last year I thought Grier was a better quarterback than Rush, and I was surprised that he didn't get the second QB slot.
He would have, Warren, but he got hurt late in training camp, and that allowed Cooper Rush to kind of slide in there. But I think Will Grier is better than Cooper Rush. I don't think there's any question.
Man, I was asleep, I guess.
That's all right. Happens to all of us, Warren. Appreciate you. Thanks for the phone call. Yeah, he got hurt. Just it wasn't anything major, but it was enough to keep him out of action, and that was all it takes sometimes in training camp. That is it. All right, more on the Cowboys coming up, but I want to kind of take a walk back to Saturday and the Hall of Fame ceremony because, man, it was really special seeing Pop up there and Tony Parker and Becky Hammond, and then, of course, Timmy and Manu there as well. And it just it was kind of a San Antonio Spurs day, even though there were a lot of big names involved in this particular class. But it was really cool to see all the Spurs and just kind of the Spurs flavor and the respect that this franchise is getting. And it's just awesome. And going through all of these and some of the speeches, you got to hear guys like Pop kind of open up on his big three and kind of a little bit behind the scenes. So look, we've talked about how hard Pop was on Tony Parker, but even Pop understands that he couldn't get away with that today.
With Tony, I just asked him to be perfect. And at 19, that was tough. If you could switch the social, situations that we have now compared to back then, if I coached him now the way I did then, I would be in handcuffs. Seriously, I would be behind bars, don't you think, Tony? Good. But I have mellowed, right? He tells me I'm soft now. So I can't go back to those days. You got to change. You got to change.
Sometimes you got to change, but he's right, man. I can tell you firsthand watching Pop just completely undress Tony Parker on the sidelines. I mean, my goodness, it was he's right. He would have been handcuffed these days if he'd have tried to pull something like that. But, Tony never seemed to mind that because I think Tony had the mindset that, hey, he was just trying to make him better. And he certainly did that, as evidenced by the fact that Tony Parker is now in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He also talked about Manu Ginobili and just how, I don't know, crazy is not the right word, different. Manu Ginobili's a basketball player that I had never seen before. I don't think anybody's ever seen before, and I'm not sure we'll ever see anybody like Manu Ginobili ever again. He's just a unique basketball player that even Greg Popovich had to get used to.
Relationships. Manu. Whew. Like I think Tony said, it took 2 years for us to figure it out. Was it that long? But what I learned from Manu, once he came in one day, he says, I'm moaning and groaning at him. And, Bob, I am Manu. This is what I do. It's a true story, quote unquote. And at that point, I learned how to zip it and just let him play. And sometimes that's the best thing we can do as coaches is just let them play.
Yeah, no doubt, especially in Monte Ginobili's part of the equation. That guy just did things that I had never seen on a basketball court before, and it was so much fun to watch him do what he was able to do. And then, of course, there's Tim Duncan. Boy, being the big star that Tim Duncan was, Pop just had to finally realize that, whatever he could get from Timmy as far as listening to him was good enough.
With Timmy, the relationship was I just wanted him once in a while to listen to what I said or just nod his head so that I knew that he heard me. I just wanted some self-satisfaction. I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to think that I was really coaching this team. And once in a while, he acquiesced and he'd give me a nod. And I'm thankful for that. I really am. Just like that. It's like, that's what he does.
You know what is so cool about everything that Pop said about all three of those guys is that those three right now, if they had to do it over again, would do it over again. And they would go to battle with Greg Popovich on the hardwood, and it would be the same. And when you look at Pop, whether you like him or not, his politics or not, however you stand on Greg Popovich, when it comes to being a basketball coach, I'm not sure there's anybody better. And just the relationship that, as he talked about with his players, Dirk Nowitzki, the respect that he showed for Greg Popovich when he was on the podium, Pau Gasol the same way. And it's just incredible how not only the players that Pop coached, but the players he didn't. Dirk Nowitzki talked about Pop sending him a handwritten letter after the Mavericks won the championship and how much that meant to Dirk. And it's just those kind of things, the relationships that Pop had with these players that was pretty special. And none more special than with Becky Hammon, because when she got up on the podium and said this to Pop, I don't think there was a dry eye in the building.
But I was also blessed with being around people of great excellence. Pop, I'm not going to look at you. You're a man of principle and excellence. I know you weren't trying to be courageous when you hired me, but you did do something nobody else in professional sports has ever done. You display excellence, you expect excellence, and model how to become excellent in your everyday routine and how you go about your work. You spoke courage into me with a phone call as I was getting ready to coach that first summer league team in 2015. You said, just be you, you're gonna be great. And you've texted me that. I don't even know if you know how many times you've actually texted me that. Just be you, just be you, just be you. And you've changed the trajectory of my life and of so many other girls and young women. Thank you, I love you.
I tell you what, that still kind of gives me goosebumps and just, the feels that you get from that thing. And when you watch it on TV, if you saw it or if you've seen highlights of it, you know what I'm talking about. Because even Pop, there were tears in his eyes when she was saying all of that. And it's just the relationship. So that's what Pop does. And that's what makes him so respected around the league. Just the relationship, more so than anything. Obviously, he's a good basketball coach. He's done what he's done, the players that he's had, but it's those relationships and the fact that they are still glowing and talking to him the way that they talk to him is just fantastic. And it was just a great moment. And I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it was just, watching that Spurs flavor all over the place was just so cool to see. It really was. It was. While there were others, yes, the Spurs took over up there. They took over. I mean, it was just evident for everybody to see. They took over. It was Spurs weekend at the Hall of Fame. I mean, it just was. So happy about it. I was happy about it. It was great to relive those memories and to hear from everybody. And it's one of those things on a Saturday afternoon that you're watching and you want to watch. And people have things to do and they're going and doing. But that was one of those things that I went back and made sure that I watched in their entirety. And I wouldn't do that for a lot of other people. Hall of Fames are, they're okay. They're great. They're excellent for the people that are being inducted and the people's families that are being inducted. But, as a fan, it's kind of like, well, that's nice. That's good. Some of the speeches are good. Some of them not so good. But I mean, when you have a connection, as we do with all of those people that were on that stage on Saturday, that kind of makes it special. I think it does. You think anybody feels that way about James Harden? Well, I don't know. I'm going to talk to Minix about this. Pledge can chime in too, but I think we need a new segment on this show. Donkey of the Week. And we've got a clear-cut winner this week. We'll talk about James Harden. Plus, Cowboys, Zach Martin has signed. The holdout is over. It's a good news Monday here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic is back Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America, Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic. Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI. Or download the app today.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that poor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe. Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters has a smoking hot deal. Purchase any Mother's Window Tint, car stereo, remote start, or car alarm and get a 1 month free membership to the CFL Smoke Shop's private Amsterdam Club, located next to Mother's on 281 North. Enjoy your gummies in comfort while you get your windows tinted with any one of our high-quality, fully guaranteed films to stop the blazing hot summer sun from burning up you and your car's interior. MothersWindowTint.com with stores in San Antonio and Austin. Follow us on Facebook. Add a professional layer of security to your car with our remote start car alarm combo. Make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump with one of our subwoofers, stereos, backup cameras, name brands, and expert installation. Remember, do it at Mother's and save!
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music. News, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Does that knee pain keep getting worse? How about the pain in your shoulder, hip, or back? Don't let them tell you that steroids and surgery are your only option, and take my advice now to call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star, and QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural, advanced, regenerative medicine. They help people here every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. It's like turning back the clock. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they work like they're supposed to, and there's zero downtime to it. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough, and patients here are getting real, lasting relief. And they're saying no to surgery and drugs. If you have pain due to injury or arthritis, you need to check this out, and the consultation's free. Call QC Kinetics now at 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star welcomes the future.
And so when someone says bulk up.
Why? What for? You should tell all this to skinny up.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the big news broke about, 45 minutes ago. The Cowboys and All-Pro guard and team captain Zach Martin have reached an agreement on a reworked deal. New deal is going to pay him north of $18 million in the next 2 years, each of the next 2 years. He was scheduled to make $13.5 and $14 million consecutively. Zach Martin is back. Cowboys are back at Oxnard. They're working on some things.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Monday, everybody. It got happier about 45 minutes ago for Cowboy fans and for all of us who wanted to see Zach Martin back in the fold, and he is back in the fold. In fact, Zach just tweeted out a few minutes ago. He says, back to work. And so he is going to go back to work. Going to be interesting to see when he shows up. Does he show up in Oxnard today? Because the Cowboys are only there a couple more days, and then they're going to go back to Frisco, fly to Seattle, and play that preseason game, and then finish out training camp back home in Frisco at the Star. So be interesting to see if Zach Martin joins him in California, or does he wait until they come back? Does he fly to Seattle? Going to be interesting, and we'll follow this and see how what he does and how he does it. But the good news is, if you're just joining us, Zach Martin and the Cowboys have reached an agreement, didn't extend his contract. He signed a 6-year deal originally. He was in year number 5, going into year number 5 of that particular deal, where he was going to make $13.5 million this year, $14 million next year. What the Cowboys did was rework the final two years of that deal, where it turns out he'll make $18 million this year, $18 million the final year. And why that's important, the Cowboys didn't want to rework the deal as far as giving him future years, extend him. Zach Martin's going to be 33 years old in November. He would have been 35 years old before that extension would have kicked in. And look, we all know there's only a handful of players that can play after, on the backside of 35. So not a lot of them can do that, especially if you're an offensive lineman. Zach Martin may not want to do that. He may see this as, okay, this is what I wanted. I got 2 years left. Let's go. The Cowboys have a golden opportunity to get something done this year with the moves that they made in the offseason with Cooks and Gilmore. That defense is supposed to be borderline historic, according to my partner, Jason Minix. We'll see. But it's going to be good. I don't think there's any question about that. Weapons on offense, now the offensive line, which has been a question mark and still is to some extent, but it certainly has been patched up considerably by getting Zach Martin back in there. So I feel a lot better about that. There's no question about it. So big news today. We'll continue to talk about that. If you want to react to that, you're more than welcome to do so on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, thank you for that. Please subscribe there, but you can chime in there and you can get us either text or call on our phone lines at 656-3776, 656 ESPN. But what we do about this time of day, every day.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You know, there's some times where you look at a professional athlete and you say, what in the world are you thinking? I mean, are you in your right mind? Are you completely there? Well, yeah, I think that way today about James Harden. James Harden, if you'll recall, signed his player option with the Philadelphia 76ers, some $45 million. Well, I think it was hoped that he would get an extension, get another contract, and that the Sixers would pay him. Well, that hasn't happened. They've tried to trade him. He wanted to trade, wanted to go to the LA Clippers, and apparently the Clippers are not willing to give up a lot. And there's nobody else willing to give up a lot for James Harden. He has just sort of come down to mortal status. James Harden once was a wizard on the basketball court, but he's just more of the overall everyday NBA player now. Well, Harden was in China today on he's in China promoting something over there, and he said this about Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Thank you, man.
Now, of course, people in China are pretty happy. They don't like Daryl Morey. He said some things about Hong Kong years ago that weren't received well in China, and they, cut off NBA games for a while there. So Harden was preaching to an audience that it was agreeing with him about Daryl Morey being a liar. But why in the world would you go out and call a guy that you need to deal with, whether you want to be traded or a new contract, you call him a liar? And I'll never return to the Sixers as long as Morey is there. I mean, that just seems to me like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. We all like for NBA players, professional athletes to, be transparent sometimes. But I think what James Harden did here, what are you going to do? I mean, if you don't trade him, and they're clearly not going to give him away, what's he going to do? He signed his player option. I mean, there's got to be a clause in there, I would think, that if he doesn't show up, they don't have to pay him. I mean, that just seemed to be one of the dumbest things I had ever heard, to call Daryl Morey a liar, and he'll never return there. And who would want you after you say something like that? Would you want James Harden on your basketball team? I wouldn't want him coming to the Spurs. I wouldn't. With that young crew there, to see a guy like that. Look, what this tells me, and I've heard this from other shows and other people, and I agree completely. What this shows me is that James Harden doesn't give a damn about winning an NBA championship. That's the last thing on his mind. All he cares about is how much money can I get. And this guy's made millions, obviously. And I'm just talking about basketball contracts. He's made millions. Then he's made millions more on endorsements. I don't think James Harden has got any problem paying the light bill. He can make his car payment, his mortgage. I don't think he's got any trouble doing any of that. He was expecting. Now, I don't know if Daryl Morey said, look, we're going to do this. If we can't trade you, we'll sign you. I don't know. I don't know what the back is. And even if Morey was lying to him, why in the world do you publicly come out and say that? I think that James Harden has just cut if he had any leverage that he had is gone. You just don't do that in a negotiation where you're trying to, number one, get traded or get a one final contract. Because you got to figure it's one final contract. James Harden was a great player. He's not a great player anymore. He's not. He has his moments, but he's not a great player anymore. Who's going to pay this guy the amount of money that he wants, number one? Number two, who's going to trade a boatload of assets away for this guy? I just can't imagine anybody. So he signed his player option. Guess what? You're stuck in Philadelphia. I mean, the Sixers can just say, hey, you're under contract. We don't have to do anything. And then I'd be getting every lawyer that I know that the Philadelphia 76ers know saying, how, if he doesn't show up, do we have to pay him? I mean, it's just a disaster for James Harden. And what he did today, I just think, man, he cut off his arm in my estimation. It's just crazy stuff. Calling Daryl Morey a liar. Unbelievable. Happier news. Check out Peyton Manning. He's got a new job today. Now, Manning doesn't need the money, but he is a professor. University of Tennessee has hired Peyton Manning as a professor in the College of Communication and Information. Now, he will be a professor this fall term. He's not going to work every day, according to the story, but he will join select classes during the academic year as a featured expert. And work alongside the college's faculty to provide learning experiences for students there at Tennessee in the communications business. And I think it's genius. And if you're the University of Tennessee, this was brilliant. I mean, Peyton Manning's a pretty good speaker, I would say. He's a funny guy. He's a pretty good actor, I would say. You see his television commercials. Guy's pretty good. I think University of Tennessee is absolutely genius for doing that. And if you're a college student, can you imagine? Hey, man, I got to go to school today. I can't miss class today. Peyton Manning's teaching the class. I'm not missing that. I don't care how hungover I am or how I want to sleep in. Peyton Manning's going to be there. Brilliant move by the University of Tennessee. And finally, have you heard this story? This is crazy. Michael Orr. Remember that movie? He was a Baltimore Raven. The movie. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I mean, it was out years ago. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but it told the story of Michael Orr and how he was he wasn't playing football in this family. It's the Toohey family. I think that's how you say it. They supposedly adopted him, got him out of poverty. You know, they were a rich white family, and it was 2009 when this movie came out, by the way. But Michael Orr has petitioned a Tennessee court with allegations that a central element of the story of The Blind Side was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expense. So Orr is claiming that when he turned 18, the Toohey family tricked him into signing a piece of paper that made them his guardians or his almost kind of agent-like. Conservatorship. So they got a lot of the money that I guess he was supposed to get, or more money than they should have gotten. But he has filed a suit saying that a lot of that is a lie. And if you watch the movie, it was a pretty good movie, I thought. And now if all of that is a lie, I can't wait until this goes to court to see exactly what he's claiming and that was a lie and how they respond to that. Because they're going to respond and try and take up for themselves because that family was hero status at that time. And when Orr played for the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, I never heard anything that was different back then. So I wonder if he came across something that he didn't know before. Somebody talked to him. It's interesting because back then, after that movie came out, I mean, they seemed like one big happy family. Like there was nothing wrong, that everything that was portrayed in that movie was absolutely correct. And now apparently it wasn't, according to Michael Orr. Now, he no longer plays football. He's long since left the NFL. But interesting to see how that's going to come out. Because if that whole movie was a lie, I mean, you got to wonder about all of the people that were in that movie, that made that movie, that went to see that movie. So now the sequel is coming out and is going to play out in a courtroom in Tennessee. The Blind Side 2, the court battle. I know, not funny. It's a court battle that they're going to have to address and get on with. But I'm going to be interested to see how all of that plays out. Interesting stuff. Michael Orr. Is that how you say it? The Tui? Is it Tui? I want to say that's the way I remember it. It's spelled like I want to say Tucci or Touchy. It's Tui. Tui. I thought I remembered that from the movie. Oh, I haven't seen that movie in 100 years. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it. You know, some movies you can watch over and over again. Some you can't. But The Blind Side was not one of those I really cared to see again. I saw it once. I thought it was a good movie, but I didn't want to see it again. I don't know. There's a lot of them that I can. That one, not particular. Maybe I have to go back and watch it just to refresh my memory to remember exactly what was there and how that all worked out. The Cowboys are back in Oxnard. Mike McCarthy talking today. And obviously, this had not been announced, the Zach Martin signing. And if you're just joining us, Zach Martin is coming back to the Dallas Cowboys. He and the Cowboys have reached a deal for Martin to end his holdout, and he's coming back. But Mike McCarthy was talking about the offensive line today, and he was talking about a couple of other things that the Cowboys need to address. Offensive line, one, they took a big step there. Improving the run defense is another one that he's going to explain to us. Have they gotten that done? And the third thing is Mike, why is Dak Prescott not playing in the preseason? We'll hear from Mike McCarthy on all those subjects as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Saturday, it's the Cowboys and Seahawks at 8 p.m.
First and goal at the 7. Read option. He keeps big hole. Walk the dog. Put his leash up on the rack.
Presented by the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tint, AA Best Bail Bonds, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you need caps done, 1,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom right now, just waiting for your logo, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. If you need uniforms done, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. He can do screen printed t-shirts. Go see Sam for everything you need. And he's got all the big name brands: North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, just to name a few. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Call 210-824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom on San Pedro, about a mile inside Loop 410 next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or the website, samsembroidery.com.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos, and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit-on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
Life moves fast. No one has time for a car, truck wreck, or commercial vehicle accident. At Davis Law Firm, we get it. When you call the force, you don't have to worry about insulting offers from insurance adjusters, property damage, or car rental. With over 25 years experience, we have secured important verdicts and settlements, some in the millions of dollars. I'm Jeff Davis. If you were in a car, truck wreck, or hit by a commercial vehicle, call me at 444-4444. You got it. There's only one number to remember. 4. Attorney consultation by appointment only. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio. Davis Law Firm is a proud official partner, personal injury attorney of the San Antonio Spurs.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Smoker's Paradise, your premium smoke shop. Vaporizers, disposable e-cigarettes, hookah accessories, water pipes, cigars, and more. Now with 15 area locations, including the newest location at South Cross and Highway 37. Visit smokersparadise.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are one of the boldest protein-packed and low-carb snacks out there. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, you'll want to stock up on Southern Recipe small batch at your local H-E-B. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. Find your flavor at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop. Download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
This week at Macy's, it's the perfect time to save big on updates you need now, like men's looks from And Now This, INC, and more, 25% off. And fine jewelry to finish any look, 35 to 70% off. Plus, shop back-to-school specials, like 25 to 50% off backpacks from Jansport, High Sierra, and more. Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase, except gift cards, services, and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We've got a great conversation going on in our Sports Star chat room on WhatsApp. You call it a chat room? I think that went out about, 30 years ago. But everybody's talking about Zach Martin, and it's funny because Rudy J just put up a picture of he and Rob Thompson interviewing Jerry Jones when we were out in Oxnard. And, of course, Jerry, that was the big topic of conversation with Zach Martin. And Jerry said, we don't have the money to sign Zach Martin. We just don't have the money. Well, all of a sudden, the Cowboys found the money because they've agreed to up Zach Martin's salary about $8 million total. He goes from $13.5 this year to $18 million, 14 next year to $18 million. The good news is there for the Cowboys, they didn't extend his contract, so they don't have to worry about him, I guess. And for lack of a better word, guy's going to be 35 by the time this contract's done. 35 years old. And for a big guard who has really been fortunate when it comes to injury problems and missing games, the guy hasn't missed many. So that's good news. Can he play further than that? I don't know. But the Cowboys didn't want to get into an extension where they're paying him past the age of 35. Whether they do that or not when the time comes remains to be seen. But Jerry said we didn't have the money. We just don't have the money to do it. Well, Jerry must have felt a lot like Mike McCarthy feels about that offensive line, because if you watch the game on Saturday, if there was one glaring weakness, it was that offensive line. Mike McCarthy back in Oxnard today talking about the offensive line play.
Quality experience, number one. I think, we had and I'm not into this kind of evaluation, but it is the facts. I mean, we're a player or two away from early, probably winning 10-0 as opposed to being down 7-0. So, and that's the beauty of what today is. You look at the things that went, the plays that went against us, and 99% of them come down to just trusting your fundamentals, trusting your technique, and then I think after that initial first quarter, I thought they settled in and played some really good football.
Well, I saw something a little bit different. I don't know. Look, it was a problem, and Jerry knew it was a problem, and they knew they had to do something with Zach Martin. They had to. Why in the world would you want to go into the season without your future Hall of Famer, your Pro Bowler multiple times over, when you've done all the other work that you've done to not have him? The offensive line was not good. Their play was not good the other day. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see that. It just wasn't good. So they needed to get this done. They got it done, and that is certainly a good thing for Cowboy fans everywhere. McCarthy also went on to say today that one thing they're working on here in training camp, and one thing certainly they needed to work on, was improving the run defense.
We'll double up on the run drills like we have been all through camp. We're doing twice as much in those early periods, this year than we've done the last 2 years. So that, that's definitely an emphasis for us. We know people, when they look at our defense, it's, they're going to challenge our run defense. They don't want to play all day against our pass rush, and it's been like that. It was really evident last year. You look at the games that, people were able to run the ball on us early, that's going to be the blueprint of how you play against our defense. So obviously our run defense is an primary emphasis because, we win there. It puts us, in a position, as I would say, play a little bit downhill with our pass rush, and our ability to go get the football in the secondary. So, that we'll do the best we can. Just get as much time on it while we're out here at Oxnard.
Yeah, a lot of people, and that's one reason why they drafted Mozzie Smith, thinking he could be help out certainly with that run defense. It remains to be seen. That was a weakness for the Cowboys last year on that defense, which is going to be, it has to be better. Yeah, they've got Hankinson in there, or Hankins in there still, and now Mozzie Smith, and so I think that that's got to be improved a little bit. Now, Mozzie Smith's going to take some time to to fit in. He will. He's going to take some time. It's going to take some steps, but I think that was a good draft pick for the Cowboys. The one thing that I'm baffled about when I look at this list here: Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and Derek Carr all played this past weekend. Dak Prescott did not play this weekend. I think he should. I think he should see some time in one of these games, just one, whether that's next week or the final week. I mean, it just stands to reason. When you go to play golf and you don't warm up on the driving range, at least this applies to me, it takes me a few holes to get going. If I warm up, I've got the swing, I know what I want to do, then, I usually get off the first tee pretty well. It's the same thing, isn't it? So Mike McCarthy was asked about the starters not playing in the preseason.
I think it's really from experience. I've done it both ways. I think where your team is, what you think of your team. We feel very strongly about our roster. And I've always looked at roster development from the back forward, because we have a really good understanding of the guys that we have here that have established themselves in the locker room. So this is really the best format for roster development. Then the flip side of it is, and the most important side is, do you have the training available to make sure your team's ready for week one? And I have a lot of confidence in the way we train, and the way we compete against one another out here. So, I mean, to me, is what's the difference between us practicing together as opposed to practicing against another team and not playing your guys. So we've had the chance to practice against other teams the last 2 years. And I feel better about so far what we've been able to accomplish out here against each other. So that's part of it. So obviously I don't, I'm all about the training, and the preparation is a critical part of how these first 4 or 5 games go each and every year in this league. September football is different. We recognize that. We feel our plan is very good to make sure we're ready to go against the Giants. But this format here, and the video this morning was really, really good just to hear some of the younger players' comments. And it's always that way. You have a chance to talk through situations, and it's because you don't always have all the information when the game's over. So, but we definitely had an opportunity to grow from Saturday's contest and today. So that's why we'll have the mock game here, and we'll just go through the corrections of it.
Let me translate that for you in case you missed it. If I start Dak Prescott or any other starter and they get hurt, they're going to hang me. So I'm not going to do it. I'd rather them be a little rusty in game 1 or 2. And if that's the case, then that's the case. But I don't want to hear about it from all the media types. If I start Dak Prescott in this preseason game and he gets hurt, guess what? I'm done. That was the translation of that. Andy Reid, if he loses Patrick Mahomes, they're done. Are they not? I would say best quarterback in the league, but yet he was out there. I just think it's important to get in a few reps, real speed, get in a few reps. Maybe it's because he doesn't trust his offensive line. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Interesting. Pledge is telling me we have some tickets to give away to the Hunters Extravaganza. It is this weekend. By the way, the Blitz is going to be broadcasting live from Joe and Harry Freeman Coliseum this Friday. So we'll be out there on Friday. You can be out there too. We'll be out there from 2 to 6. We got a 4-pack, right, Pledge? 4-pack of tickets to give away right now to the Hunters Extravaganza. All right, if you want to go to that, take your family or some friends or whatever you want to do. Why don't you be the, let's say, the 8th caller right now at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Good luck. I want to tell you about a great company. It's called Woods Comfort Systems. How do I know it's a great company? Well, because I know the people that run that company. They've been running it for 60 years. But the Woods family, I grew up with the Woods family in my hometown of Alice, Texas. I've known them my entire life, and they're just good people, and they're going to take care of you. They are. It's Woods Comfort Systems. And hey, look, if you've been thinking about a new AC system, I hope your AC is not acting up. But if it's that time of year and you need one, you want to check out Woods Comfort Systems, because right now they got a great deal for you. You can take advantage of up to $2,500 in rebates. You're also going to get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty, and you're going to get a free Solaris indoor air quality package to boot. You got to take advantage of these special offers. Give them a call, 877-324-6902. That number again is 877-324-6902. Or you can get them online at woodscomfortsystems.com. Trust me, I've known this family. They've been in business for a long time. You don't stay in business as long as they do if you're not doing it right. They do it right, not to mention the fact they're just good folks. Give them a call, 877-324-6902. Woods Comfort Systems. Comfort. It's their middle name.
It's R&R in the morning.
Tuesday on R&R in the morning. So much to talk about. The Cowboys are back in camp as the questions with the offensive line linger. Are they going to go get Zach Martin? Also, James Harden losing his mind in China. Daryl Morey is a liar. We're going to talk about that. And the 40 acres are alive with arch rumors. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion? Never heard of them. We know.
We also know that you have no idea that comparing insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at comparinginsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la. O'Reilly.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Vest Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Vest Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
To your left, our new exhibit, Monarchs of Springfield. And right here, we have our empty tour guide stand.
The last time Bryn hired someone is ancient history.
Sir, excuse me, that's not part of the exhibit.
They need
Sir,
tour guides who know the museum ropes.
Hey, you. Job for you.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Score $1,000 cash for back to school and another $1K for your favorite school or charity. Register to win now at sasportstar.com. Good luck from the Institute for Functional Health and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. Had a great weekend this weekend. Hope you all did. Hope you're refreshed, ready. Your week's going well. I know Cowboy fans got to be happy today. Zach Martin has ended his holdout. We've been talking about that. That news broke right after we came on the air, a little after 2 o'clock today. So that was good to see. $18 million this year, $18 million next year. So they don't extend his contract. They just rework it a little bit, give him a little bit more money. And he's obviously happy with that. So Zach Martin is his holdout is over. He will be coming back, and that is certainly good news. More Cowboys talk, and your reaction to that always 656-3776, 656 ESPN. You can text or call from that number. You can reach me on Twitter at Joe Reinagel 210. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, thank you for doing that. Subscribe to that, please. We would appreciate that, but you can chime in there as well. More Cowboys talk coming up here in just a moment, but this was an interesting story that came out. And Apparently, the Longhorns had a scrimmage on Saturday. You know, they're practicing their fall camp, if you will, summer camp, whatever it is well underway. Well, they had a scrimmage on Saturday, and apparently Arch Manning just blew everybody away, completely blew everybody away. I was told that he just looked fantastic, which is a big change from what he looked like in the spring game because he didn't look very good. So he's obviously been working on his game, but he apparently looked really good. Yeah, we'll see. But an anonymous Big 12 assistant coach says that he could see a scenario where Arch Manning unseats Quinn Ewers. I find that kind of a stretch. Look, I think Arch Manning's going to be a great player. He's going to be a good player, but he's a freshman. And I think the plan is, or what the Horns would like to see happen, to redshirt Manning this year and have him step into the saddle next year, because Ewers, if he has a good season, just might trot off to the NFL and take his chances there. So the door would be wide open. It would be perfect. The Horns have all the talent, and a guy like Ewers who has some experience already seems to be the best fit. And I don't know, maybe I think this guy was a defensive assistant somewhere, but maybe he's hoping that happens. I don't know. But the Horns certainly have a lot of reason to be optimistic this year. But I don't see Manning doing that this year. I see him stepping into the role certainly next year, but not this year. Well, the AP Top 25 preseason poll came out today. And look, I'm not a fan of polls in the preseason. I'm just not. It's just it's hard to tell what any of this means, to be quite honest with you. Mac Brown said this many years ago when he was still at Texas. He said polls shouldn't come out until after week 5. Well, it's a couple of things with that. I agree with him. They shouldn't, because we got to see where these teams are and how they play, because nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, usually the bigger teams have cupcakes to start things out. Some don't anymore. But nobody really knows how these teams are going to be. But the second thing is what the heck would we have to talk about as we get ready for the college season? So that's why we do that. But this came out here today. Just came out. AP Top 25 preseason poll. Some of this stuff probably won't surprise you. Georgia's ranked number 1. That's not a surprise. But how about this? Michigan is 2. Ohio State is 3. Notice I haven't mentioned Alabama yet. They're ranked at number 4. When is the last time that Alabama started a season ranked as number 4? I can't remember the last time. LSU is ranked number 5. So right off of the top of the heap there, you got 3 SEC schools in the top 5, 2 Big Ten schools in the top 5. That's nuts. Texas comes in at number 11. That's where they're ranked in the preseason poll. You got TCU at number 17, and Texas A&M makes the top 25. They are in at number 23. So, interesting. I don't know. Do you guys like polls? Joshua Jimenez says, go Dogs. Look, they are just the top of the heap right now. I mean, they really are. They've got to address a quarterback situation. I haven't heard or seen what their quarterback situation is right now, but they just reload out there. I mean, it's just incredible. Michigan, looks like Jim Harbaugh's not going to be suspended after all. He's going to be there to start the season. Ohio State's always good. Alabama's always going to be a factor, but that second game of the season, I believe it's the second game of the season. Texas travels to Alabama. That's going to tell a lot for both of those teams. And again, Texas should have won, in my mind, that game last year. If Quinn Ewers doesn't go down, I think they do. I don't know. I think they win that game. But this one time, they've got to travel to Tuscaloosa and play the Crimson Tide on their own home turf. I'm anxious to see what Texas is going to look like, honestly. You know, you can hype up a team all you want. And you say they're this, they've got that, they're here, they go there. Everything looks great. But until you put them on the field, you just really don't know. And I know I'm famous for saying that. And I say it a lot here on the Blitz, but I mean, it's true, isn't it? You just don't really know until you get them out there. You see how they're going to play, how they're going to gel, and all of that stuff. But it's interesting. I just don't know how Texas is going to be. I'm excited about the college football season coming up, and can't wait. But this is a Monday, apparently, of breaking news. According to Ian Rappaport, the Patriots are expected to sign former Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott to a one-year deal worth up to $6 million. He visited them earlier in camp, and apparently it was a successful visit. So it looks like Zeke is going to the Pats. Some backfill help for New England and a new home for Zeke, who plans to rock his number 15 from college, according to Ian Rappaport. So Ezekiel Elliott heading to the New England Patriots. And guess what? The Cowboys play the Patriots this year. I believe that game is at Jerry World, in fact. So Zeke Elliott will make his way back to Jerry World in a Patriots uniform, wearing number 15. Good for Zeke Elliott. And obviously, the way Rappaport said that was it's worth up to $6 million. So it's got to be a base salary and some incentives there as well. So, yeah, the Patriots come to Dallas on October the 1st. That is looks like a CBS game it would be. It's a 3:25 kick, but it will be in Jerry World. So Zeke Elliott will be coming back to his old home stomping grounds as a member of the New England Patriots. Going to rock number 15, which is what he wore in college. So interesting. Breaking news there. We had Zach Martin earlier, Zeke Elliott going to the Patriots. I wonder what that means for the other running backs now. Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs. Will he find a home? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But if that's the standard now, what New England just offered, will that set a tone? And will running backs be happy with that? Will a Dalvin Cook be happy with that? Interesting. Going to be interesting to see. But Zeke Elliott heading to the Patriots, according to Ian Rappaport. So, wow. Big breaking news day on this Monday. And I like it. It's a lot of fun. Hey, when we come back, have you seen the new video of Wimby? He looks a lot like Jeremy Sohan. Yeah, I'll explain that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic is back Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
You know, injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip DR and get straight to an OrthoNow Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. OrthoNow provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. OrthoNow has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com. It's patio season, so get over to the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road to enjoy the great South Texas weather. As always, ice-cold beer and specialty drinks, happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6, and the kitchen is open late until 2 a.m. every day. Add the Roo Pub into your lunch rotation with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. You know there is no better place to watch a game, and they always have all the fights. The Roo Pub, next to the Angry Elephant, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Welcome to What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. Today's caller is Gio. What's up?
Hey, Jake, what if I'm shopping for a new policy, but there are so many options that I freeze up and just can't choose?
It's okay. An agent can help you choose the right coverage. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Oh, Now, what if I need help deciding on dinner?
Tacos.
Good idea.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Hey, you need to head to the Lodge. The Brew Day is back every Wednesday in August. We're celebrating one of our most beloved things, beer. Get to Twin Peaks and score 22-ounce Twin Peaks brews on draft for just $3.99 all day Wednesdays. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
You know you have hard water. This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. And for just around $1 a day, the hard water gets softened away with a professional whole house water softener from Connecticut. Soften your water, spare your hair, and protect your clothing. It's so affordable for around $1 a day. Finally eliminate those hard water spots on your granite countertop and shower. So don't delay. Visit ConnecticutSA.com. Some people get caught in the cycle of wasting money on other softeners that continually break and leave them disappointed. With a Connecticut, you will actually invest your money into something that lasts and works again and again. It's why Dave Ramsey recommends Connecticut and why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models, and it's the water softener in South Texas you can depend on. Call my team at 210-656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Missions Baseball is back Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Gates open at 6 p.m. First pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets. We are San Antonio.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back. My emotions are stable and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
If you travel as much as the San Antonio sports guys travel, while you're on the road, be sure to take us along. Listen to the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star live stream anywhere on the Odyssey radio app.
I don't know much about science, but I seen an army of armed men stop and get quiet. This tongue low like a prayer from a tyrant. Sky became black with the stars on the line.
Man, what a Monday it has been. It is a breaking news Monday, and it's been fabulous. Of course, the news that broke about I don't know, a little less than 2 hours ago. Zach Martin has ended his holdout. They've reworked his deal, the final 2 years of it anyway. So he's coming back to camp. And we just found out before we went to break that Zeke Elliott is now a New England Patriot. He will join the Patriots on a one-year deal that is worth up to about $6 million, according to Ian Rappaport. And in case you forgot, the Patriots travel to Dallas. I believe it's week 4. It's October 1st. So I think that's right around week 4 or 5. I'm not sure, but right around there. So Zeke will be coming back to Jerry World. And so that'll be interesting to see. But that's what's happening so far. And hopefully we'll get some more breaking news today. I like this breaking news stuff. This is great. And I like Robert Alexander on our YouTube channel. Just tuning in. Did Joe eat all of his Deuce Vaughn humble pie? You know, I got that pledge, and then on our text line, I got something from James here, and I'm trying to find this. There it is. He says, James, where is it? Cowboy James says, I agree Dak needs rest, but Joe, Love you, but you've been very critical and disrespectful to Deuce Vaughn. I believe it was a big enough showcase for him to make the 53-man roster. So one game, 50 yards on 8 carries is enough to make the 53-man roster. And I'm supposed to eat humble pie. You know, I got all these texts and calls the other day when Deuce scored a touchdown, and I saw it all over Twitter where everybody was, Vaughn was impressive. He looked good. Better than I thought he would running up the middle. I'm not ready to say he's more than a gadget player. And I don't see that as being disrespectful. I really don't. I'm not sure that he's the number 2 guy. Number 2 running back to Tony Pollard. Maybe he makes that leap. And if he does, I'll be happy for him. And I will say so. But at this point in time, I just don't know. Look, Kavontae Turpin has been, he was less than impressive the other night. So I can see Deuce Vaughn maybe sliding into that slot, becoming a punt returner, kickoff returner. I don't know, something like that. Will he make the 53-man roster? I think he's got a great shot at it. Will he be the number 2 back? I'm not ready to say that just yet. I don't mean disrespect to Deuce Vaughn, but the guy is small. He ran big the other night. I will say that. But again, guys, it's preseason. It is. I think Will Greer played really well, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to take over for Dak Prescott. I mean, there's a lot of guys that play well in the preseason. Let's see. If he makes the 53-man roster, we'll talk. How about that? How about that? Is that humble pie enough for you? If he makes the 53-man roster, we will talk. Well, I don't think there's any question that Victor Wembanyama will make the roster.
Victor Wembanyama.
Anybody have any question that that's going to happen? Apparently, he and Jeremy Sohan have become close. There's a video out on Twitter. It's one of them, but it shows Wemby looking an awful lot like Jeremy Sohan. And by that, I mean, Wemby, as I'm looking at him right now, he's got a purple streak down the top and side of his head, and the rest of his hair is dyed blonde. So Wemby is taking the Jeremy Sohan approach to hairdressing. Now, Sohan, who introduces this, and I can't play it because Place doesn't have enough time to bleep it out, but it's he just calls Wemby and he says, Wemby, and this is it. And they look a lot alike. I think it's kind of funny. What do you guys think about that? Should maybe the whole team remember when John Jay, I don't know, some of you remember this, when they went to the state tournament, they all dyed their hair blonde. Maybe the Spurs, everybody could just dye their hair, a certain way. And, they'd be the dyed hair NBA squad. I think that'd be kind of funny. But I'll be honest with you. I think Wemby looks pretty good with his hairdo. Again, it's like he dyed his complete hair blonde, and then he put a purple and it looks like a little green tint down the middle. Kind of I don't know, almost reminds me of the Riddler in Batman. You know how, and maybe I'm going too old school because I'm not sure. Pledge, you can tell me this. The Riddler, does he still have the question mark on his chest? Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Spot.
It looks like a question mark from the Riddler that he used to put on there. And it was Lanier High School. Forgive me. Yeah, you're right. It was Lanier. My apologies to the Vokes. It was Lanier who they did all their hair.
Well, South Lake Carroll's been doing it for decades.
Yeah, but they're South Lake Carroll, dude. This is Lanier. Okay, it's just a little bit more. I liked it. I remember that, and they played, but they had a bunch of jump shooters on that team. I remember that team. That was crazy. So 6990, thank you for that. I appreciate that. It was Lanier. No disrespect to the Vokes. 1047 just texted in and said, would you dye your hair, Joe? Purple, blue? Probably not.
Ooh.
Although
go with the Sohan or the Wemby hair now.
Well, yeah, that question mark thing's pretty cool. I mean, because it looks like a question mark. Anybody that's seen that, if you've seen it on social media, tell me what you think it is. It looks like a question mark down the top to the side of his head. I'm not sure But I don't know. That could be part of our Dak thing, right? Fred here. What is it? Fred Rex? How do you say that, Pledge?
Records?
Records. Hey, Ryan Eagle, can you get that same die? I'll buy you a beer. Just one beer, Fred? Come on, dude. If I'm going to dye my hair, I ought to get more than one beer. And if I'm going to do that, I probably want to be drinking them first. And about, halfway sloshed by the time the dye comes out. That's funny. But that could be all part of the Dak thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll dye my hair. Maybe I put a star on the side of my head. That might be good. Or a picture of Dak and wear that around for a while. I don't know. See, that's the kind of stuff we need to do, though. Again, if you're just joining us, you haven't heard on Friday, Pledge and I were talking about this, but I know I've been, and I will say, disrespectful is not the right word to Dak. I'm just not sure he's the guy. I don't think he gets the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, but if he does, they don't even have to win. I'm going to do something dumb like that, dyeing my hair, serving, folks at the Roo Pub in a Cowboys outfit of some sort. So all of those kind of things are rolling around. We're going to make this happen. There's no question about it. We're going to make it happen. If by some miraculous chance, Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, we'll see. So Ezekiel Elliott has tweeted out now that he is signing with the Patriots. So Zeke has sent a picture of himself in a Patriots jersey with the number 15 and him eating like he does, feed Zeke. So that's what he's doing. So that's official. Zeke Elliott going to the New England Patriots, and happy for Zeke. I really am happy for Zeke. So that's a good thing. All right, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of Dallas Cowboys stuff to talk about, but I want to switch gears when we come back because a lot of you have seen the Johnny Manziel documentary. Well, Ryan Leaf experienced some of what Johnny Manziel experienced, and he talks about the documentary and what he feels like is very wrong with it. We're going to hear from Ryan Leaf on the other side when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Prescott all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, Zeke Elliott has got a new home. The former Cowboys running back is going to the New England Patriots, a one-year deal that could be worth up to about $6 million. And, of course, the big news for the Cowboys, Zach Martin has ended his holdout. The Cowboys reworked the final 2 years of his contract. He's going to make $18 million this year, $18 million next year. But the good news is he's coming back to camp.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're back here on the Blitz on this Monday afternoon. So happy that you are joining us. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I certainly did. It was a good one. Not a lot of relaxation, though, I'll be honest with you. But, played a little golf on Saturday and then kind of chilled yesterday. But then Rudy J had a quinceañera for his daughter, which was a lot of fun. So Maggie and I, Rob and Kelly went to that last night. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun out there. And Rudy J, if you haven't seen the pictures of that guy, oh, my goodness. That dude can clean up. I'll tell you that. He looks sharp. I don't know where he found that tuxedo from, but it was a good one. I hope he got that thing back in one piece. But, Rudy, it was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for having us out there and happy that everything went well. And your daughter was celebrating her 15th birthday with a quinceañera. It was nice. Met a lot of nice folks out there. Some that I had seen before and met before and talked to, and then some that I hadn't. Part of Rudy's family, Anna's family. So thanks for having us. That was a very good time. Rudy, of course, didn't work this morning for R&R in the morning, but he'll be back tomorrow, I understand. So that's a good thing. He can tell us all about what happened and what a fun time he had. It was crowded out there. It got crowded. Bunch of friends Tatiana has, so that's a good thing. All right, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of breaking news today. If you're just joining us, just tuning in, Zach Martin has ended his holdout. He's agreed to. They reworked the final 2 years of his deal. Remember, he was on a 6-year deal that he signed. He was the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL when he first signed that thing. But since then, obviously things had gone completely different. Zach didn't like that, holding out of camp. So they have come to an agreement, although Jerry Jones said there was no money. They didn't have any. They found some somewhere. Going to be interesting. How are they going to pay Micah Parsons now? Oh, my goodness, or C.D. Lamb. I don't know how they're going to get it done. Zach Martin has broken the bank, but they found some money. So $18 million this year, $18 million next year. Zach Martin is back, and that is a good thing for the Dallas Cowboys. If you watch the game at all, on Saturday, you know that offensive line struggled a little bit. It really did. So having Zach back is going to fix that considerably. The other breaking news, and boy, I tell you what, some of these Patriot tweets going by, they seem very happy to have Zeke Elliott in the fold. So he signed a 1-year deal with the Patriots today, announced that. You know, he got a haircut he put out today. You know, Zeke has a tendency, sometimes the hair's way out there, right? But he posted a picture of himself with a nice clean cut. I mean, pretty short, right? And Micah Parsons retweeted that and said, hey, Zeke's going to go for 2,000 yards this year. So we'll see if that was holding him back. I don't know. Ryan says Micah about to sweep Zeke off his feet when they play. Week 4, the Patriots come into Dallas. So Zeke will be reunited and back at his old stomping grounds there. So that's a game to look forward to and circle on your calendar. Tough schedule for the Cowboys, man. They got to go through that NFC East. I don't know how good the Patriots are going to be. That list that came out that Minix was so proud of, that had the Cowboys as the number 1 defense in the league projected, I think had the Patriots as the number 4 ranked defense. I had no idea. I didn't know their defense was that good, but apparently they are. But they've got some offensive issues. Certainly Zeke Elliott is going to help that tremendously. More on the Cowboys, hopefully more breaking news. Who knows what's going to happen on this Monday? It's been a fun one thus far. But I want to talk about Johnny Manziel. The documentary came out on Netflix, kind of chronicling his rise and his eventual fall, where he was a great high school player, obviously legend in College Station, but never really made it in the NFL. And a lot of reasons for that, but he chronicled it. Also came out with some sad news that Johnny attempted suicide. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything for the ending there, but it's really interesting when you look at it. I don't know how many of you remember Ryan Leaf. Well, Ryan Leaf was the number 2 overall pick, and just he had a gambling problem. That was part of it, and just spiraled completely out of control, and he actually went to prison for some years. Well, Ryan Leaf was on Outkick today, and he was talking about this documentary. Apparently, he had just seen it, and he was somewhat disappointed with it.
I got a chance to watch it last night. I was hopeful for this, and I don't want to. I mean, I'd love to hear from Johnny. I mean, we probably heard 100 words come out of his mouth during the documentary. I mean, nothing. And I put this on Netflix. I would have loved to have been able to talk to that director today and said, you have done everybody such a disservice. Once again, people have taken advantage of Johnny Manziel. There was no solutions. There was no addressing the bipolar diagnosis and how he's dealing with it and how he's living with it around his substance abuse. And then at the very end, he talks about, being, back in the day, being in a frat. The football team was a frat. And then they show him, and he's sitting at a table with all his new frat buddies pounding beers. I don't know what they were trying to achieve.
Well, they were trying to achieve telling Johnny's story. And look, it's tough to argue with a guy like Ryan Leaf. But if you're doing a Netflix documentary telling the story of Johnny Manziel and the rise and the eventual fall, I mean, do you really have time to get into, well, this is what it's I don't know. To me, I don't blame Netflix for how they put this thing together. What I think is if Johnny or Netflix or whomever, his representatives, wanted to take it further, then you come out and you why not go to schools or, I don't know, have events and explain those things. Explain what the help is. I'm not sure where you can put all of that in a Netflix documentary. And I really don't see it. I would love to have Ryan Leaf explain to me how they're taking advantage of Johnny. I don't know what Johnny Manziel made for that, but I'm sure he was paid handsomely. He's opening up a bar in College Station. And I've heard, I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard he's opening up a men's clothing line. So I think Johnny, who just turned 30, by the way, is landing on his feet. Now, obviously, there's a problem there, bipolar. But if you threaten suicide, and actually, according to the story that Johnny told, he pulled the trigger and the gun didn't go off. Went on a $5 million bender before that because he wanted to spend all of his money. Something was wrong there. Obviously, when you're a guy as popular and as talented as Johnny Manziel, and you just kind of cruise through life in high school and in college, and you get the job done, and then all of a sudden you get to the NFL level and it's not that easy anymore, and things are not going well, you can't fix it, you can't do what you used to do in college and high school, then you could see where things would get a little rough. But I'm not sure where Netflix did Johnny a disservice or took advantage of him. I really don't see that. And I would love to talk to Ryan Leaf and have that explanation. I don't know what he means there, because what do you do in their situation? Just looking from Netflix situation. What are they going to have, a 2-hour documentary? It's like, yeah, this happened and now here's where you go. And maybe they could have, I don't know. But it's an entertainment television station, right? Or television service. I just don't know. I'm just not sure where that happened. Now, apparently the guys from Outkick had that director on, and I think Ryan Leaf was trying to he should have asked him this. Why didn't you do that? And I would love to have talked to him. Well, I would love to talk to Ryan, and maybe we will. I know he and Jason Minix have a pretty good relationship. Now, maybe we will at some point this week or sometime soon. But I would like to ask him how. I want to know, how did they take advantage of him? And it looks like to me, just from the outside looking in, that Johnny Manziel is getting back on his feet. I mean, it looks that way to me. With the bar opening up, with the whatever he got paid from Netflix, which has to be a pretty handsome price, I would think. I wouldn't think he would just, I'm sure Netflix wanted to do this, and it had to be a pretty good chunk of change, I would think. So it looks like to me, anyway, that he's landing on his feet. What I would like to see, and where I would agree with Ryan Leaf, now Johnny, go tell your story. This was me. This is what happened to me. This is where things went off the track. And if you're dealing with that, this is what I did about it. I get that. I'm just not sure if that was to be squeezed into a Netflix documentary. But yes, I do believe other things can happen. I do believe that Johnny could bring this further if he so chose to do so, by explaining how he got out of this mess, explaining his mental issues, explaining, what he's going through now. Is it under control? I would like to hear all of that. But I think that's a continuation of what the documentary was all about. The documentary told a story. It told a story of a rise and a fall and why all of those things happened. But after that, you got to take it in the next step. And I'd love to see Johnny do that. I really would love to see Johnny do that. I'd love to see Johnny come on this radio station and we can ask him those questions. I don't know. Interesting take, certainly interesting take by Ryan Leaf. But I to hammer Netflix, I just don't think is fair. I don't think that's fair to hammer them for taking advantage of Johnny Manziel. I just don't see that, and not sure. See the documentary if you haven't seen it. It is well worth your time. It's a little over an hour long, and I'm going to tell you, it grabs you from the beginning all the way to the very end. And I think everybody I've talked to, certainly here around the station, even Maggie, my wife, was riveted to this. So it's not a sports movie. It's a human movie, and how things happen to us throughout our lives, good and bad. And Johnny had all of that. So it's interesting. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We'll talk some more about that coming up here in just a moment. Adam Schefter has just tweeted out about Zeke Elliott and his one-year deal with the Patriots. Here's what he says it is. It's a $3 million base salary, $1 million signing bonus with incentives that could make that entire contract worth up to $6 million. So think about that for a minute. A base salary of $3 million. And if your other running backs that are still out there looking for a home, and you're going to see this, other teams are going to see this, agents are going to see this, $3 million base salary, $1 million signing bonus. So he's going to make $4 million if he doesn't do anything. Could make another $2 million with incentives. Doesn't say what those incentives are, but you got to figure rushing yards, touchdowns, who knows? But he could make up to $6 million. That's not a lot of money for a guy that just came off of a $70 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys. Boy, the running back position, man, it has just gone downhill and has been tough. No question about that. My goodness. ESPN's got a great article out today. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's ranking quarterbacks on their categories, like arm strength, accuracy, etc. Where does Dak rank in some of these, or does he? I'm going to talk about that when the Blitz continues here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Before we do that, though, I want to tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Been talking about them for a long time and so proud to do so. You know, I don't have to tell any of you how hot it's been. And no rain in sight. It's drying up. That sun, though, is pounding down on your roof day after day after day. And look, that can cause as much damage as any kind of hailstorm or windstorm or anything else. If you think your roof is suffering, if you think there's an issue with it, you want to call Stevens Roofing, because their people live in this area. They've got years of experience, and they deal with the same stuff we do. You want to buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing. You know, the pros at Stevens Roofing can do all kinds of jobs. They can repair, they can install all kinds of roofs, whether it's metal. They even do commercial projects. And look, if you've got an insurance claim, let Stevens Roofing deal with your insurance company. Give them a call, 210-785-0994. They're going to send somebody out. They'll check for any damage, and they'll give you an honest assessment. Whether it's a simple leak or you need an entire new roof, Stevens Roofing is your local roofer, here for you rain or shine, and they're here for you for years to come. You can get them online at stevensroofing.net, but don't forget that saying, buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Saturday, it's the Cowboys and Seahawks at 8 p.m.
First and goal at the 7. Read option. He keeps. Big hole. Walk the dog. Put his leash up on the rack.
Presented by the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tint, AA Best Bail Bonds, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has a smoking hot deal. Purchase any Mother's window tint, car stereo, remote start, or car alarm and get a 1 month free membership to the CFL Smoke Shop's private Amsterdam Club, located next to Mother's on 281 North. Enjoy your gummies in comfort while you get your windows tinted with any one of our high-quality, fully guaranteed films to stop the blazing hot summer sun from burning up you and your car's interior. MothersWindowTint.com with stores in San Antonio and Austin. Follow us on Facebook. Add a professional layer of security to your car with our remote start car alarm combo. Make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump with one of our subwoofers, stereos, backup cameras, name brands, and expert installation. Remember, do it at Mother's and save!
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents. Expert advice.
And there's number 4.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2023 Hunters Extravaganza. This weekend at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out hunting seminars, all the latest hunting equipment, last season's best bucks from our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com. This weekend at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. The 2023 Hunters Extravaganza.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. I want to take a moment to talk to you about advertising on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Yeah, we get this question quite a bit. Here's what you have to do. Contact Morgan Harrison via email. It's morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. From there, she's going to have one of our folks connect with you on how you can advertise right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Or since Alpha Media is a full-service advertising company, online, other radio stations, and even television, since that's just about all through the internet. Happy connecting.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancer pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, James Harden is mad. Will he be a Sixer? And Daryl Morey's a liar? We'll look at that from every angle. The Dallas Cowboys are back in Oxnard. Are you worried, Cowboy fan? Did the offensive line give you problems? We'll talk about the answers. Now back to the Blitz. Joe all alone again. We're getting used to it. Great show, my friend.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Although you really think Rob's listening, he's looking at the back of his eyelids right now.
No, he just responded to me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I texted him, make sure he's my guest of honor today.
Isn't that nice? That's sweet. I got that deal. I guess I'm yours tomorrow, and I don't know, like 3 times this week, Pledge. Did you request that?
Well, yeah.
Of course you did. I get it. You want the best for your show. I understand. I perfectly get that.
And then Friday, you and Rudy just get to take extra innings.
Yeah,
from the...
I guess so, man. We just get these emails and you never know, right? It's like, here, you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing this. And you just, you just do it.
Just shows our work life's not much different from anyone else's.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. So it's all good. It's all good. I enjoy being on with you. And of course, and I love doing the show on a day like today, man. Today has been just breaking news all over the place. If you're just tuning in, thank you, by the way. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minnick's my partner, is off. He will be back tomorrow. And we started out with Zach Martin. Started the show with that. He ended his holdout, got a new deal. They reworked his deal. And then, of course, Zeke Elliott has signed a 1-year deal with the New England Patriots. And obviously everybody's circling that 4th game of the season on their calendar now, because that's when Zeke is going to be coming back to Dallas to do his thing in front of the home folks for another time. And that's very interesting. I find that everybody's going to circle their calendar. I certainly am. Look, I'm circling it for week 1. Are you kidding me? I mean, my goodness, I cannot wait for real football. I know we got the preseason. It's fun to watch because it is football, but no, I want to see the real thing. My goodness, I want to see the real thing. So can't wait for that. And we've got to wait till September 11th. So we're still about a month away, a little less than a month away, I guess. But fun talking about it and fun seeing all these things breaking like they're breaking today, and people getting their stuff done the way they are. So that's where we're at. We're talking a lot of football, and there was a great article in ESPN that were ranking all the quarterbacks and how they rank in particular things like accuracy and all of that kind of stuff. So
Dak was number 1?
No, he wasn't. And there were some that he wasn't in at all in the top 10, but not to just disparage him. I mean, Josh Allen wasn't in a couple of these. And so it wasn't just him. It was a lot of them. And so I find it interesting because, it takes a lot of time to get something like this done. And you really got to put a lot of work into it. I mean, we're talking about arm strength, accuracy, touch, mechanics, field vision, decision-making, and all of that kind of stuff. So they start with arm strength. And I want to see how you guys feel about this. And do you agree or disagree? Because as we found out, certainly, that a lot of these lists and projections are really, subjective, right? So they start out with arm strength. And they say this category is all about the biggest arms in the NFL. Their number 1 guy is Josh Allen. They say he's got the biggest arm in the NFL. Buffalo Bills quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is second, followed by Justin Herbert. Then Aaron Rodgers. And I wonder about that. Even though he's number 4, would you put Aaron Rodgers ahead of a Trevor Lawrence? I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, but with a bigger arm. I mean, after all, Aaron Rodgers is just about 40 years old. And then at number 6, I find this interesting. Anthony Richardson, Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray. Now, you see, there's one where Dak Prescott did not make that list of arm strength. Accuracy, however, he does. He comes in at number 9. Dak does, ahead, by the way, of Jalen Hurts. Number 1 on the accuracy list is Joe Burrow of the Bengals. Aaron Rodgers is second. Patrick Mahomes is third. By the way, in case you're listening, Minix, Dak's 9, Kirk Cousins is 7. Just saying. Just thought I'd throw that in there. That was accuracy. How about touch? Well, Dak is in there, tied for number 8. With who? Kirk Cousins. Number 1 on touch is Joe Burrow, followed by Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Second list in a row that has those 3 guys at the top of the list. But yeah, Dak and Kurt tied at number 8. Mechanics. I find this interesting because, again, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes are 1, 2, and 3. Justin Herbert, by the way, is number 4, but they have Dak Prescott in a tie for 5th with Trevor Lawrence. Now, again, this is mechanics. All right. that's what I find so interesting about all of this is the different categories. And do you realize that whoever did this either had a bunch of people looking or had to do a lot of work on their own? The next list is field vision, right? Being able to see the field and where everybody is. And all right, this is where you Dak Prescott lovers are going to get mad at me because he's at number 9. I don't think he deserves to be on this list at all. I don't think he sees the field very well at all. And again, the same 3 at the top, a little bit different order. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, followed by Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, then Dak. Rounding out the top 10 is Matthew Stafford. Do you agree or disagree? And this is not a knock, and I'm not, but I mean, when you're talking about these kind of rankings, field vision, and I think 15 interceptions proves my point, he just doesn't see the field all that well, but he makes the list. And maybe this is why he makes the list, because the next category is decision-making with the football. But I think decision-making and seeing the field can go hand in hand. Now, Dak's not on this list. He does not make the top 10. Patrick Mahomes, 1, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, 1, 2, 3. Tua is number 10. Kirk Cousins is 8. Josh Allen is number 9 on that. And, hey, it's hard to disagree with that because Josh Allen turns the ball over quite a bit. So I can see that. But that's why I love seeing this stuff. And I find it fascinating. Now, this is a category in this ESPN article that I find interesting. It is compete level and toughness. Who has the most desire to win is what they say. Toughness, they say, rolls into it. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Hard to disagree with that. Josh Allen, number 2. Joe Burrow, number 3. Jalen Hurts is number 4. They've got Herbert at 5. Matthew Stafford at 6. Dak Prescott at number 7. Aaron Rodgers, 8. Justin Fields, 9. And Lamar Jackson, 10. Don't you love lists? I really do. I love lists. Pocket presence is another one. Dak's in there at number 7. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers. So you kind of see where we're going with all of this stuff. But I find it fascinating how much work went into this. Jay Glenn on our YouTube channel says, I'd much rather have an accurate arm quarterback over arm strength any day. So, Jay Glenn, are you saying that and I get where you're going there. I guess it's just the deep ball, but sometimes if you're going to try and squeeze a ball in there, you got to have some arm strength to that. But I just find this, I found this thing fascinating. I read it a couple of times. Rushing ability is another one. Dak doesn't make that list. That may change this year, though. I'll be honest with you. When we were out at camp watching him, he was taking off and running with that. So that might be different. Obviously, Lamar Jackson tops that list. He's got to be the best running quarterback in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts next, followed by Justin Fields. I might flip-flop those two. Josh Allen's right there at number 4, too, because he's obviously a pretty good runner. Hard for me to take seriously, and they're just going on by what is projected. Anthony Richardson of the Colts. Now, he's a pretty good rushing quarterback at in college, but he hadn't done anything in the NFL just yet. I don't know. I found this list interesting. I hope you found it, but go read it. There's a few more categories. I won't get into all of them, but a few more categories there. And I just think sorry, Hunter Hitch out there on our YouTube channel. Joe gets eye surgery. Now he thinks he's an expert on vision. I am. Are you kidding me? Jay Glenn, a list without Sam Howell in the top 10 is trash. It's all subjective, my friends. But the eye surgery is a real thing. I can see clearly now. How'd the rest of that song go, Pledge?
The rain is gone.
The rain is gone. There it is. I see. Look at you.
Very presumptuous.
Old time guy, right? Yeah, exactly. Cowboys back at camp. Mike McCarthy up on the podium there on the tennis courts in Oxnard, and he was talking about the offensive line. And you had to figure when he's talking about the offensive line today, he had to know that the Zach Martin deal was done, didn't he? Did it come as a surprise to Mike McCarthy? Did it? We'll hear from the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, I want to tell you about some very good friends of mine, Woods Comfort Systems. Yeah, the Woods family I've known since I was about knee-high to a grasshopper. Grew up with the Woods family in my hometown of Alice, Texas. They are good people. They really are good folks. They've been in business for 60 years. I remember them being in the air conditioning business back then, and their business has just grown and grown and grown. And look, that's not going to happen if you're not doing stuff right. If you're not taking care of people, the Woods family is going to take care of you. In fact, here's a great deal that they're running now. If you're thinking about a new AC system for your home, well, right now at Woods Comfort Systems, you can take advantage of up to $2,500 in rebates. You get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty, a free MERV 11 media filter, and you get a free Solaris indoor air quality package to boot. Well, you can't beat that. You need to take advantage of these special offers, and you need to do it today. Give them a call at 877-324-6902. That's 877-324-6902. You can get them at woodscomfortsystem.com. Look, the Woods family, they've been doing it right for a long time. I've known them for a long time. They'll take care of you. Woods Comfort Systems. Comfort is their middle name.
The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop. Download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you're having a great Monday. I'm having a great Monday because, well, I'm here alone. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is off. He'll be back tomorrow. But, you know, when you're doing a show alone, number one, you got to prepare a little bit better. And I say that, it sounded bad. You got to prepare because you got to know where you're going and what you're doing and what you're talking about. Because talking for 4 hours, even though I love sports and I can talk sports and all that, you want to know where you're going. But the biggest thing that I'm happy about is that we've had breaking news all over the place today. Started with Zach Martin signing a revamped deal on the last 2 years of his contract. He's going to end his holdout. He'll be back with the Dallas Cowboys. Then Zeke Elliott signed his deal, or is about to sign a deal with the New England Patriots. He can earn up to $6 million. We learned that it was a $3 million base. He got $1 million for signing, and then he can make up to $2 million more in incentives. So Zeke Elliott off the block. He is in the fold, and October the 1st is going to be a lot of fun now. The Cowboys playing the Patriots. You probably weren't too excited about that ball game at first when you first saw it, but guess what? Now it's kind of got a life of its own, doesn't it? It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting to hear the Cowboys respond to that, and I think a lot of them will. In fact, Micah Parsons already tweeted out a picture of Zeke Elliott, who apparently got a nice almost buzz cut today. Said Zeke going to rush for 2,000 yards this year. Well, that would be interesting. Then we've got this whole James Harden thing going on, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But there's an article out that it's got my head spinning, boiling. And I wonder, they're calling for an NBA investigation in this particular article. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's go back to the Dallas Cowboys because, well, they were back in Oxnard today after that first preseason game at Jerry World. They lost that one. It was 28-23. But there were some good things there. And I know a lot of you are waiting for me to just say Deuce Vaughn is the greatest running back ever in the history of greatest running backs ever. I'm not ready to do that. He had a good game. 8 carries, 50 yards. He scored a touchdown. Great effort by Deuce Vaughn. But I'm not ready to go there just yet. And I don't think that's disrespecting anybody. I'm just not ready to go there. What I was concerned about on Saturday, and when I watched some of the replay yesterday morning, that offensive line was not good, which makes today's news about Zach Martin just perfect and timed exactly perfect, because Mike McCarthy was asked about it after the game on Saturday, and he was concerned about it. Today, we had a little bit of a different spin on things.
Well, the experience, number one, I think, we had, and I'm not into this kind of evaluation, but it is the facts. I mean, we're a player or two away from early, from probably winning 10-0 as opposed to being down 7-0. So, and that's the beauty of what today is. You know, you look at the things that went, you know, the plays that went against us, you know, in 99% of them come down to just trusting your fundamentals, trusting your technique, and then, you know, and then I think after that initial first quarter, I thought they settled in and played some really good football.
I don't know where he was looking, but the offensive line was a little suspect the entire game. But that's neither here nor there. They got a shot in an arm today. Their depth still concerns me. Does it concern you? I mean, it concerns me because, look, their starting five is going to be as good as anybody. It stands to reason. Terrence Steele, you figure he's back. Hopefully he has no lingering effects from his bad injury from last year. And then Tyron Smith, he's going to get hurt. It happens. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. The problem is the depth behind there. Hopefully they've got some guys. And up in Oxnard last week or week before last, a lot of people said, you know, some of these guys are improving and they look better. And one of those guys was Josh Ball. But I'm not sure about Josh. And it would make me nervous if he was in there. So that's still an issue. One of the few, and I say that with all sincerity, it's one of the few issues that the Dallas Cowboys are going to face. So that's a problem. Now, the other thing they faced last year was they had trouble stopping the run. Well, Mike McCarthy says things look better in that respect.
You know, we'll double up on the run drills like we have been all through camp. You know, we're doing twice as much in those early periods, you know, this year than we've done the last 2 years. So that, you know, that's definitely an emphasis for us. You know, we know people when they look at our defense, it's, you know, they're going to challenge our run defense. You know, they don't want to play all day against our pass rush. You know, and it's been like that. It was really evident last year. You look at the games that, you know, people were able to run the ball on us early. You know, that's going to be the blueprint of how you play against our defense. So obviously our run defense is an primary emphasis because, you know, we win there. It puts us, you know, in position as I would say, play a little bit downhill with our pass rush, you know, and our ability to go get the football in the secondary. So, yeah, that you know, we do the best we can. You know, just get as much time on it while we're out here at Oxnard.
Well, it's something they needed to address, and hopefully they will, and that's a good thing that they're taking it. I mean, Mozzie Smith was drafted for that reason. Yeah, I mean, that was their number one draft pick this year, and he was drafted for that reason. They had to figure out a way to stop the run, and hopefully that will be better. Look, I think Mozzie's going to take some time. I mean, I do. He's a rookie. It's the NFL. It's a step up. I think he's going to be a good player, and I love the pick, by the way. And I have said that many, many times. Now, their second-round pick I wasn't in love with. Schoonmaker, I think, was a wasted pick. I think the Cowboys panicked because there was a run on tight ends at that time. But we'll see. Time will tell. I think it was a wasted pick. The other thing that is interesting is that, and quite surprising, I'll be honest with you, when I saw all the starting quarterbacks that actually played in week one, like Patrick Mahomes, like Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields played, Russell Wilson played, Derek Carr played, Dak did not play. And it doesn't look like Dak will play or any of the other starters, according to Mike McCarthy.
I think it's really from experience. You know, I've done it both ways. I think where your team is, you know, what you think of your team. You know, we feel very strongly about our roster. So, you know, and I've always looked at roster development from the back forward, you know, because we have a really good understanding of the guys that we have here that have established themselves in the locker room. So this is really the best format for roster development. Then the flip side of it is, and the most important side is, do you have the training available to make sure your team's ready for week one? And I have a lot of confidence in the way we train and the way we compete against one another out here. So, I mean, to me, is what's the difference between us practicing together as opposed to practicing against another team and not playing your guys. So we've had the chance to practice against other teams the last 2 years. And I feel better about so far what we've been able to accomplish out here against each other. So that's part of it. So obviously I don't I'm all about the training, and the preparation is a critical part of how these first 4 or 5 games go each and every year in this league. September football is different. We recognize that. We feel our plan is very good to make sure we're ready to go against the Giants. But this format here, and the video this morning was really, really good, just to hear some of the younger players' comments. And it's always that way. You have a chance to talk through situations, and it's because you don't always have all the information when the game's over. So, but we definitely had an opportunity to grow from Saturday's contest and today. So that's why we'll have the mock game here, and we'll just go through the corrections of it.
I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around what he just said. First of all, look, if he puts Dak Prescott in the game, or any other starter for that matter, they get hurt, well, he's not. I mean, he's going to get hammered, right? He's going to get hammered. I think they need to play a little bit. And I understand what he's talking about, the roster, developing the roster, getting the other guys ready, and they should play the majority of snaps. I just think that they need to play a little bit, something, a series, 2, just to shake the rust off. I mean, I don't want to go into September, go into Giant Stadium, or whatever they call that thing now, and, shaking the rust off there. And look, maybe they will. Maybe it will be okay. I've always been a proponent for these guys to play. And obviously Andy Reid is a proponent for that. I mean, he's got the best quarterback in the league out there playing in a preseason game. And not just any preseason game number 1. Now, whether Patrick Mahomes plays any more this preseason remains to be seen. I doubt it. And I'm not calling for Dak or any of the other starters to get out there and play 30 minutes in every game. I'm talking about 1 series, 2 series, something. Don't you think that would benefit them? I do. Jeff is texting in on our text line, 6563776. He says, so installing a new offense and doesn't think they need to play, ? In what world is that okay? So the way I read that, Jeff, I think we are in agreement here. I think they need to play. Dak getting, and I know Mike's probably in his ear at practice, but getting in his ear during a game, I think would be beneficial, because he's going to have to learn on the job. I mean, yeah, Dak's a veteran. He's 8th season he's going into, but he's going to have a new voice in his headset, a new voice in his helmet, and a new way of doing things. And I know they're studying and doing all that stuff. It just throwing them into the fire on the fly, doing that, I think would be beneficial. I would like to see it. Doesn't sound like it's going to happen for the Cowboys, but I would like to see it. It just makes sense to me to see that. What do you guys think? Jeff commented on our text line. What do y'all think? 656-3776, 656 ESPN. You can get me on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Subscribe there if you don't mind, if you haven't done so already. It baffles me a little bit. It honestly baffles me a little bit that you're going into a season and not just something. I think the Cowboys are going to be great. I think Mozzie Smith and what they've got on that defensive front is going to do better against the run. I love that. The defense is going to be good. They're going to be very good. Historic, I don't know, but they're going to be very good. The offensive line play scares me. What scares you on this team, if anything? Linebackers we haven't heard a lot of, although the Varian Overshown is looking pretty good out of Texas. I think he's going to do okay. The secondary, obviously the corners are covered with Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs. I think we're going to be the Cowboys are going to be okay there. That shouldn't be an issue. But what about the safety positions? Is that going to be okay? Does that worry you? Does anything on that defense worry you? Not me. When I look at this Cowboys team and I look at them on paper as it sits right now, on paper, this Cowboys team looks to be in the upper echelon of the NFC. The upper echelon of the league. Now, we could go and establish a list and put some time into it and say, hey, well, Kansas City's better because of this, or Buffalo's better because of that, or the LA Chargers or whatever. But I'm talking NFC. San Francisco has still got a good defense, although they've got some changes that were made. Obviously, DeMeco Ryans out, head coach now in Houston. But that defense still has most of the same players there. They're going to be good. They've got weapons on the offense. Brock Purdy, question mark, certainly. Played well last year. Is he back? Is he going to be able to do the same thing that he was able to do last year? Is that a system thing? But certainly you got to figure San Francisco's in the top 3. And then everybody's looking at Philadelphia. I think this Philadelphia team, I'll be honest with you, I would knock them to 3rd. If I had to do a list right now, I would put San Francisco at the top, Dallas 2nd, and Philly at 3rd. Philly's got a lot of changes that they're having to deal with. Like both of their coordinators gone. They lost 5 defensive players. I mean, they're Georgia pretty much, and that's going to be good. I just think that the Cowboys, at least on paper right now, are the 2nd best team in the NFC. And the problem for the Cowboys is going to be getting over the boogeyman, which is the San Francisco 49ers. Because you got to figure they're going to have to get through them at some point in time if they're going to get to the Super Bowl. That's the issue. That's the problem. San Francisco's knocked them out of the playoffs the last 2 years. Cowboys are going to be good. They're going to be good. I think Cowboy fans are going to have a good time this year. But Cowboy fan has had a good time the last 2 years. 12-win seasons the last 2. Can it get further? That's what everybody wants to see. That's why I ride Dak Prescott as hard as I do, because I'm not sure that he's the guy that can get them any further. Regular season Dak is okay. Postseason Dak, not so much. We'll talk about it. How would you like to be the hero of a game and then get stopped by security on your way out? Be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? We'll talk about that, plus a whole lot more. James Harden, Dallas Cowboys. Oh, my goodness. A lot happening today on this Breaking News Monday. Happy you're here with us. We'll continue this conversation when the Blitz continues here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic is back Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save 10% on select concrete mix when you buy 1 pallet or more. Plus, earn 3 times the bonus points per dollar on select Spider Power Tool accessories. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Discount reflected in contractor pack pricing and must purchase 1 pallet or more of same item to be eligible. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 9/1.
Dipping taco is, well, it's completely new. It's got a fresh fried white corn shell filled with cheese and new slow braised shredded beef with even more cheese grilled outside the shell. But what makes it really special is the dip. It comes with 2 sauces and you dip in one or both. Red sauce, then nacho cheese sauce, maybe more red sauce. This is a next level taco situation that'll have you acting brand new. The new grilled cheese dipping taco. Get one on the Taco Bell app today. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for participation which varies.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Missions Baseball is back Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Gates open at 6 p.m. First pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets. We are San Antonio.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Northwest Automotive Warehouse and the Hunters Extravaganza. You know, they're all about Texas hunting and getting outdoors. And you can get ready for adventure with brands like Undercover, Ultraflex truck bed covers, and Steelcraft bumpers and grill guards. Look for NAW and many other vendors at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall for the Hunters Extravaganza, which is August 18th through the 20th. Protect, promote, and preserve the great outdoors with Northwest Automotive Warehouse and the Texas Trophy Hunters Association's Hunters Extravaganza. NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse, family owned and going strong since 1978 in that big red building at 3027 Calabar Road. They are online at nawtruck.com.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Saturday, it's the Cowboys and Seahawks at 8 p.m.
First and goal at the 7. Read option. He keeps. Big hole. Walk the dog. Put his leash up on the rack.
Presented by the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tin, AA Best Bail Bonds, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Blitz, 2 to 6 on YouTube and always at sasportsstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
A lot of breaking news on this Monday. Let's start out with Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin. He has ended his holdout and has reached a deal with the Cowboys. They just restructured the last 2 years of his contract. Going to make $18 million this year, $18 million next. Then you've got Zeke Elliott. He's got a new home. He's going to be a New England Patriot. Reached a deal with the Pats on a one-year deal. Could be worth up to $6 million.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's 5 o'clock on Monday. If you're just getting off work, congratulations. You made it through your Monday. Getting ready to go home, relax, or whatever it is you're going to do. You made it. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix, he is off today. He'll be back tomorrow. This is the Blitz. Happy to have you along on this Monday afternoon. It has been a fun Monday, that is for sure, because, well, all the breaking news. I mentioned Zach Martin. He's coming back to the Cowboys, ending that holdout. That's good. They got that done. They needed to get that done. Zeke Elliott reaching a deal with the New England Patriots. That's good because, well, it's going to all come back around, right? The Dallas in week number 4. That's going to be interesting to see Zeke going up against his old mates in a different uniform. Says he's going to wear his college number 15. So that's going to be interesting. So a lot happening on this Monday afternoon. Then, of course, James Harden. Boy, I tell you what, he just went off today in China calling Daryl Morey a liar. We're going to talk about that in a minute because there's a story out that I want to get into on Sports Illustrated here in just a moment. But first, have you heard this story? Crazy story. Game last night between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints comes down to a 31-yard field goal by a guy named Blake Grupe. I hope that's how you say it. It's Grupe, right? Saints won it 26-24. So obviously this groupie guy is very happy, right? He makes a 31-yard field goal to win the game. As time expires, you're on top of the world. Maybe the deal that seals the fate of who's going to be the kicker there for the Saints. I don't know. Guy's 24 years old. He looks like he's 12. I'll be honest with you. He's a young-looking dude. But as he's leaving the stadium, he was mistaken by a fan, by security, and they wouldn't let him out. They didn't know who he was. Hero one day, or 1 minute, I should say, and then GOAT the next. Wow, and he sent out a tweet that said, step 1, get questioned walking onto the field pregame for not having credentials. Step 2, hit a game winner. Step 3, get stopped by security thinking I was a fan when I was trying to walk out the player exit. And then he just says, stay humble. Thankful, great team win. At Saints, hashtag who dat. Boy, what a day. But I think it was all made right because the fact that he made that 31-yard field goal. I just thought it was an interesting story. And if you're not in New Orleans, you might not have heard that thing. But we'll see if that guy's the starting kicker for the New Orleans Saints come game 1 or not. Lots of other stuff going on. Obviously, the Texas Longhorns and the Aggies both practicing, getting ready for the upcoming season. And both of those teams, well, the Aggies with higher hopes, certainly. They had high hopes last year. They've got high hopes again this year. The Longhorns, though, their hopes are off the chart. I mean, everybody's been telling them that they're going to be this, they're going to be that, and they're going to be much better. And a lot of people have even mentioned them as Big 12 conference winners and playoff participants. That will be interesting. And apparently, one of their quarterbacks, Arch Manning, you might know, maybe you heard of him, I don't know, had a hell of a day on Saturday. They had a scrimmage on Saturday, the Longhorns did, and apparently Arch did very, very well. It was said in the story that he blew the coaches away. He was doing things that, were pretty special, throwing the ball, running the ball, all of that kind of stuff. So everybody was very happy with Arch and his performance. And it even led one defensive coordinator who wouldn't give his name to say that Arch Manning could actually replace Quinn Ewers this season. The guy stayed anonymous, but he was a defensive coordinator. Don't know what team he was with, but that he could unseat Quinn Ewers this season. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I just don't. I think the plan is to ease Arch into the mix. Now, if he continues to play that well, and he does, Anwar Richardson was the one that posted this thing. He says, according to my sources, Texas freshman quarterback Arch Manning looked incredible, his words, during Saturday's scrimmage. He scored on a 70-yard touchdown run on an improvised play. He also was incredibly accurate throughout the day. I'm told he looked better than any other backup quarterback. Now, I don't think Quinn Ewers is worried about it. I think it's his job. He's got it. Unless he gets hurt, I think things stay where they're at. And I think the Longhorns are better off, quite frankly. As much as I think Arch Manning is going to be the real deal and going to have some great moments at the University of Texas, I just think with this team going in, he's going to be better off. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is will Arch be the starting quarterback next year when the Longhorns enter the SEC? That could be interesting. But this year, I think that job belongs to Quinn Ewers if he stays healthy. Remains to be seen. But it's good to know that he is breaking shining and wowing people out there in practice in a scrimmage. That's nice to know. So I say that, and the AP Top 25 preseason poll came out. Now, look, I'm not a huge fan of preseason polls. I'm a Mac Brown disciple on this. Mac Brown used to say when he was at Texas that polls shouldn't be released until about the 5th week or till after the 5th week. He said teams ought to have to play, but then what would we talk about for 5 weeks? You just wouldn't know. You'd kind of have an idea, right? And I mean, I don't think it's any surprise that Georgia is ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. They're the kings of the hill. They're going to be until somebody knocks them off. What is surprising are a couple of things. Michigan, number 2. I know Michigan's got a good team, and they play well, and it looks like Jim Harbaugh is going to avoid a suspension, so he'll be there. Michigan comes in at number 2 in this preseason poll. Then it's Ohio State, Alabama, and LSU. Now, I don't remember the last time Alabama was ranked 4 in the country. They're either ranked 1 or 2. 4 is a little bit strange to see Alabama that far. Now, look, a lot is going to be determined by what happens early in the season between Alabama and Texas. Texas has to travel to Tuscaloosa, and they've got to play the Crimson Tide there. Texas comes in at number 11 in this particular AP Top 25 preseason poll. The Horned Frogs of TCU are number 17, and Texas A&M comes in at number 23. All of that's going to change. There's going to be an upset or two. You know there is. Now, there's some other pretty good teams, by the way, in between 5 and 11. But something's going to happen. And that's his point. Something is going to happen. And some of these teams, because look, a lot of these teams don't get a preseason. None of them do, right? They'll scrimmage, and then they may have a cupcake for game 1. But ask the Aggies, sometimes that doesn't work out all that well to have a cupcake come in, or at least a team that you think is a cupcake, and they walk out of your building with a win. That's not a good thing under most circumstances. So preseason polls are weird. I don't like them, but I'm glad that they come out anyway. Gives us something to talk about. And I'm ready for college football. My goodness, I am ready for college football. I'm so ready for it that, just football in general. We got high school football starting in a couple of weeks here in town. You got college football, obviously starting up here pretty soon, and then the pros the weekend of September 11th or thereabouts. So looking forward to all of that. But as we continue, and you talk football, basketball seems to rear its ugly head. James Harden today just kind of went off the deep end in my mind. But there's a story out on Sports Illustrated today that just came out. It's written by a guy named Michael Rosenberg. In fact, he just published this about 55 minutes ago. And the headline is James Harden called Daryl Morey a liar, and the NBA should look into it. Why should the NBA look into it? Whose side is Michael Rosenberg on? The mini headline, I guess that's what you call it, it says, what does a disgruntled star think the 76ers exec fooled him? It's time the league found out. Now, this is a very pro James Harden article. Very pro. Just glancing at it, and I haven't a chance to read all of it, but I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to wonder where he's going. Now, Daryl Morey is a liar. According to James Harden, I'll never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Now, you might recall that James Harden took less money, right? He took a pay cut. It's hard to feel sorry for him. He went from like $45 million to $33 million. I get it. That's a big pay cut. I understand. But the writer's point of this story is that if Morey first promised to trade Harden and didn't, and that's been publicized, that that's a violation of the CBA. If he told him he was going to sign him to a big extension, that's a violation of the NBA, and didn't. And it's clear that he didn't. But you read these stories and you hear from people that Harden wanted to go to the Clippers. Clippers aren't offering enough for James Harden, according to Philadelphia. They don't want to just give the guy away. I mean, Harden is not the player he used to be, but he's not chopped liver either, right? He can still play. Still one of the best passers in the league. Plays no defense, none whatsoever. But we've got a standoff. Now, Chris Mannix is reporting the same thing. Pledge just put up his tweet. This is James Harden calling Daryl Morey a liar, references one of two things. Morey agreed to give Harden a big deal this summer after taking a cut rate last offseason. then reneged, which would mean big trouble for Morey and the Sixers. Or Morey agreed to trade Harden after he opted in and now will reportedly bring him into camp. Either way, we now have a volatile standoff between a player who is a master at getting his way, James Harden, and a GM who has no problem with uncomfortable situations. There was a story that came out just a few minutes ago that says the 76ers now are thinking of blocking Harden from going anywhere if he doesn't show up for camp. This is a crazy situation, but I don't know, and I'm sure it's happened, I would assume. I've never heard of a player publicly calling an executive a liar, number one, and number two, saying you're never going to play for any organization that he is a member of. And these guys were boys. I mean, you know this, Pledge, right? I mean, in Houston, it was Morey that brought Harden to Houston. Am I correct?
Brought him to Houston from Oklahoma City, saw him, the sixth man could potentially be a star, signed him to a max deal, then signed him to a super max after he proved him right. And then when Morey left, Harden wanted out under Raphael Stone when they're undergoing their rebuild. Got his trade to Brooklyn, got his trade from Brooklyn to join Morey again in Philadelphia. So Morey's gone to bat for this guy a lot.
And that's what I look at. And with all due respect to this Michael Rosenberg from Sports Illustrated, I don't really know. And if all of these things are violations, I'm sure the NBA is going to look into it. I'm sure that the Players Union is going to make sure of it. But I have to wonder, first of all, you signed a player option. Now, if you signed that because Morey told you that he was going to trade you or give you a big extension, I can see Harden's point there. But, I mean, at some point in time, I think Harden gave up all his leverage with Morey. If he doesn't sign the option, he's a free agent. And then maybe the Sixers pay him the money that he wants. Or he could have gone anywhere he wanted to. So, just looking at it like that, you got to feel, Harden's not a stupid guy. Smart guy. You got to believe he was told something to sign, because I was shocked that he did that. And I remember that specifically when that news came out, that he signed the player option. I was shocked because there was already rumblings then that he wanted out of Philadelphia, wanted to go play somewhere else. So it makes sense. This is going to be an interesting story to follow when it comes to these guys, because my goodness, if Morey lied and it's all against the CBA, then boy, he's in trouble. But it's a standoff, and I have to believe the league's probably already called Morey. This is interesting. Because players just don't come out. And maybe that's why Harden did what he did. Look, I'm not the biggest James Harden fan in the world. I'm not. I think he's just after the money, and he doesn't really give a damn about winning. But if Morey strung him along, then I can see Harden's point in this whole thing. Interesting, and it's going to be interesting to follow, and I can't wait to do that. But my goodness, a lot going on today. I just don't think I've ever heard a player come out and call somebody in management and publicly. Now, I'm sure it's happened behind closed doors. I'm sure there's been squabbles, but publicly to come out not once but twice, call somebody a liar. And Daryl Morey's not exactly a fan favorite in China, because when the whole Hong Kong thing came out, Morey made some statements that, the Chinese folks didn't like at all. So he said it to an audience that kind of feels the same way. I don't know. Joshua Jimenez says Harden making Leonard look like a Boy Scout. I wouldn't go that far, Joshua. You know my thoughts on number 2. Did you see the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies? And if you did, would you mind seeing them again? I wouldn't, because it was a Spurs palooza. It was a Spurs party. And it was fantastic. And to know these players, to have watched these players, to celebrate the championships with them, as a bunch of you have done, man, it was just special. We're going to relive some of those moments when we return right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, I went by Parkhurst New Vision today, and they started my adjustment. Remember, I had lens replacement surgery a little over a month ago. And the beauty of that surgery is they can tweak the lens while it's in your eye. And you look at these lasers and you do all this stuff, and they tweak it. Now, they told me today they tweaked it to where I wanted to go. And I'm going to go back in about 10 days. And if I like the way it is, they'll set it. And that's the way it'll stay. If not, I can get it adjusted again. It is fantastic and amazing the things they can do at Parkhurst New Vision. Look, I got tired of the glasses, got tired of the readers. I was sick of it, going into restaurants or reading scripts the way I do, or a book or anything else. And I had to have the readers. And if I didn't, it was just nothing but a big blurry mess. Now that is gone. I see better now than I've seen in 30 years. It is really incredible. It's a whole new world. Give my friends at Parkhurst New Vision a call, 210-585-2020. Or you can check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. They offer a variety of services like the lens replacement surgery I got. They do LASIK and they do cataract surgery, all of which are going to change the way you see the world. Look, if you're tired of it like I was, it's worth it to give them a call. Check them out. Let them check your eyes out to make sure you're a candidate, and then go from there. Again, it's Parkhurst New Vision. Give them a call, 210-585-2020.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This Saturday, it's the Cowboys and Seahawks at 8 p.m.
First and goal at the 7. Read option. He keeps. Big hole. Walk the dog. Put his leash up on the rack.
Presented by the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tin, AA Best Bail Bonds, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, a family member, a friend of yours gets arrested, you know you want to get out of jail fast, and the best way for you to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. The phone number is 210-225-2121. You can even text the word bail to 474747 or start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, a free shuttle service. They're open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents a lesson in back-to-school savings. Your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. So when you return your Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next $30 Staples purchase. So you can save even more on top of huge back-to-school deals. Like right now, 2 pocket poly folders and Staples 8-count number 2 pencils are each just 50 cents. Staples gives you more ways to save. Offers end 8/26. Pricing and limits may vary in-store and online. Amazon return offer in-store only. Exclusions apply.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, has a smoking hot deal. Purchase any Mother's Window Tint, car stereo, remote start, or car alarm and get a 1-month free membership to the CFL Smoke Shop's private Amsterdam Club, located next to Mother's on 281 North. Enjoy your gummies in comfort while you get your windows tinted with any one of our high-quality, fully guaranteed films to stop the blatant blazing hot summer sun from burning up you and your car's interior. MothersWindowTint.com with stores in San Antonio and Austin. Follow us on Facebook. Add a professional layer of security to your car with our remote start car alarm combo. Make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump with one of our subwoofers, stereos, backup cameras, name brands, and expert installation. Remember, do it at Mothers and save!
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Energy companies raising your rates and then telling you to reduce your usage? Don't reduce, produce. At Roof Fix Solar Energy, take charge of your energy costs and keep your home as cool as you want. Sign today and we'll pay your utility bill until your solar's installed. Plus, capture a 30% tax credit and a $600 rebate. That's no money out of pocket and never pay a high utility bill again. Call 210-454-2400 or visit rooffixsa.com. Roof Fix.
Home of the low price guarantee.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from R&R in the Morning. Join us mornings from 6 to 10. Grab a cup of Joe on your ride to work. Right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Just twist the hip and do the dip. Come on, shake the back, do whatever it takes.
That's interesting, Pledge. James Pledger producing the show today. This is The Blitz. I'm Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix. He'll be back tomorrow. Went to see Pink at Wrigley Field. Looked like a great show. You know, one thing about Minix, you always know what he's doing, and you kind of share the experience because that dude is a picture-taking dude and a posting guy. So it looked like a great show, though. It really did. And Wrigley Field is kind of on my bucket list to go to. Now, I'd rather go there for a Cubs-Cardinals game, but I guess if you're, going for a concert, that almost is good. But I'll get there at some point in time before I kick the bucket, hopefully, and we'll see. I tell you what, I don't know. One of the more special events that I have seen happened on Saturday at the Basketball Hall of Fame. Pop, Becky Hammond, Tony Parker going into the Hall of Fame as inductees, part of a star-studded 2023 class. And it was just incredible. What the best part about it was I've listened to some of these speeches more than once, or certainly parts of them, and you kind of pick things up as you go. But Greg Popovich, look, while everybody else was good, Pop is one of those guys that can sometimes obviously be a little brash, a little standoffish sometimes. But when it comes to fans and it comes to the relationships he has with his players, man, he is about as cool as it gets. And he had a lot to say about his former players, in particular the big three. And he started with Tony Parker. And I found this interesting because anybody that was around when Parker first came out as a 19-year-old point guard, just a kid, I mean, Greg Popovich was all over this guy. And I mean, he would dress him up one side, down the other. And, well, Pop said, I couldn't do that now.
With Tony, I just asked him to be perfect. And at 19, that was tough. If you could switch the social, situations that we have now compared to back then, if I coached him now the way I did then, I would be in handcuffs. Seriously, I would be behind bars, don't you think, Tony? But I have mellowed, right? He tells me I'm soft now. So I can't go back to those days. You got to change. You got to change.
You got to change. And certainly these days, there's no way that Pop could do a player the way he did Tony Parker. But you know what? Tony always said he didn't mind because he knew Pop was just trying to make him better. And guess what? They're standing at the podium at the Hall of Fame, both inductees. That's pretty cool. They also talked about Manu Ginobili, or Pop did, and how unique of a player Manu was. And Pop says he finally got to the realization about Manu and how he needed to handle him.
Relationships. Manu. Whew. Like I think Tony said, it took 2 years for us to figure it out. Was it that long? But what I learned from Manu, once he came to me one day, he says, I'm moaning and groaning at him, and Bob, I am Manu. This is what I do. It's a true story, quote unquote. And at that point, I learned how to zip it and just let him play. And sometimes that's the best thing we can do as coaches, is just let him play.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Manu Ginobili. My goodness, most unique basketball player I think I've ever seen. I'm not sure that we'll ever see anybody like him again. That guy could just do things that other people just could not do, quite frankly. And then, of course, Pop had number 21, right? Tim Duncan. And they have a very special relationship. Don't imagine that it's anything different. But Pop knew the greatness of Tim Duncan, and, well, so did Timmy.
With Timmy, the relationship was, I just wanted him once in a while to listen to what I said or just nod his head so that I knew that he heard me. I just wanted some self-satisfaction. I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to think that I was really coaching this team. And once in a while, he acquiesced and he'd give me a nod. And I'm thankful for that. I really am. See, this, just like that. It's like, that's what he does.
You know what's so cool about all of those stories about the Big Three is, to this day, and you saw it this weekend if you watched any of that, because Tim was there, Manu was there, and then David Robinson was there, the relationships. And I think that's what makes coaches. Look, they're pros. Guys like Tim, Tony, Manu, David Robinson, they don't need a lot of coaching. They're talented, very talented. But it's the relationships and it's the respect that you work for and with that I think makes the difference. And that certainly made that dynasty work the way it did. It was something very, very special. And then Becky Hammond got up on the podium to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So happy for Becky. But there was a very emotional moment when she saw Pop out in the audience.
But I was also blessed with being around people of great excellence. Pop, I'm not going to look at you. You're a man of principle and excellence. I know you weren't trying to be courageous when you hired me, but you did do something nobody else in professional sports has ever done. You display excellence, you expect excellence, and model how to become excellent in your everyday routine and how you go about your work. You spoke courage into me with a phone call as I was getting ready to coach that first summer league team in 2015. You said, just be you, you're gonna be great. And you've texted me that. I don't even know if you know how many times you've actually texted me that. Just be you, just be you, just be you. And you've changed the trajectory of my life and of so many other girls and young women. Thank you, I love you.
Well, I tell you what, you got to be a real hard person if you don't tear up at that, especially if you saw it live, because look, Pop was crying. I mean, tears were coming out of his eyes, and it's just incredible stuff. Hey, I mentioned a minute ago I wanted to go to Wrigley Field and see a Cubs-Cardinals game, and yes, I would wear Cardinal gear, but Perio has a warning for me. Mario, what's your warning, my friend?
Joe, I want you to go in all of your Cardinals gear and make so much noise that they dump a whole bunch of beer on you if you're in the bleachers.
Well, you think they'll do that? There's always more Cardinal fans there than there are Cub fans when they play.
No, but yes, they will do that.
Okay, good.
Listen, I'm a Cubs fan. I grew up that way, and I have a family member that's a Sox fan, and I would throw beer on them in a heartbeat for being a Sox fan, let alone Cardinals fan.
Yeah, it is the best rivalry in baseball. Mario, thanks for the phone call. Thanks for the warning. I'll take that under advisement. Not. I'm wearing Cardinals gear. It's the way it is. If I end up with a head full of beer, so be it. You know, sometimes you got to get beer spilled on you. It's nothing worse than going to Fiesta, right? And you go to Fiesta, you're probably going to end up with beer. Hey, James Pledger has informed me that we have got another 4-pack of tickets to the Hunters Extravaganza. Yeah, it's the original Texas Hunting Show. It's back. It's the 47th annual, August 18th through the 20th. It's out at Freeman Coliseum, the Expo Hall. The Blitz is going to be live out there at Freeman Coliseum on Friday. So we'll be out there. If you want to go see us, that'd be great. If you want to go another day on the weekend, that's great too. But either way, you have a chance to go for free. Caller number 11 at 656-3776, 656-ESPN is going to get a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Hunters Extravaganza. Good luck.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, it's not the time of year you want your AC to go out. I couldn't imagine. I check into a hotel. You're having issues? The best company to call is Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. They are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential, or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission, sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. 210-651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At the UPS store, you can ship it all. We're your bulky sports equipment shipping store, your heavy luggage shipping store, your fancy art shipping store. We're even your, I can't believe it's already time for back to school shipping store. So visit your neighborhood We Ship It All store for dependable UPS shipping with easy to use tracking and competitive rates. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. The UPS store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
And now, a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive.
Well, today you can expect lots of cloud cover with 0% chance of raining on your parade because you'll be riding your motorcycle vroom vroom. That rumbling low-pressure system beneath you should give way to a relaxing commute and the sudden urge to take the scenic route everywhere you go because, dagnabbit, you're having fun out there. That's your forecast. Back to you.
This has been a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive, where every day's a beautiful day to ride with coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get a quote today and see what you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At the Home Depot, we know pros want to be ready for whatever the job site has in store. That's why the Home Depot app is made for pros who don't miss a beat. So you can power your jobs with rentals to get the tools, trucks, and equipment you need fast. And Pro Extra benefits to keep your business growing. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
AutoZone is more than a parts store. It's where we help you solve problems like, sorry I'm late, my battery died. And
I need a jump again.
At America's #1 battery destination, you can find the right battery at the right price with options starting at only $89.99. And we offer free battery testing and charging whenever you need it. Get the parts and help you need to get the job done right at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Score $1,000 cash for back to school and another $1K for your favorite school or charity. Register to win now at sasportstar.com. Good luck from the Institute for Functional Health and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Monday, everybody, and what a Monday it has been. Zach Martin's back in the fold. Zeke Elliott's got a new team, the New England Patriots. Oh, man, and we're just having too much fun on a Monday. A lot going on. James Harden calling people liars. And then there's this Michael Orr story. Have you heard this? We talked about it earlier in the show, but retired NFL star Michael Orr, whose life story was the the part or what The Blind Side was all about, that movie. Remember that? Came out in 2009. Well, he filed a petition today with a Tennessee court with allegations that a central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at its expense, at his expense, by the way. Now, here is part of that filing. And I just saw this coming out now, and I'll read it to you, but it's interesting. And if this is true, man, the Tuohys are in trouble, and they should be. It says, according to the legal filing, the movie paid the Tuohys and their two birth children each $225,000 plus 2.5% of the film's defined net proceeds. Of course, that movie became a critically acclaimed blockbuster, reportedly grossing more than $300 million at the box office, tens of $millions more in home video sales. The film received an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, and Sandra Bullock won a Best Actress trophy for her portrayal of Leanne Tuohy. Now, while the deal allowed the Tuohys to profit from the film, the petition alleges, a separate 2007 contract purportedly signed by Orr appears to give away to 20th Century Fox Studios the life rights to his story without any payment whatsoever. The filing says Orr has no recollection of signing that contract, and even if he did, no one explained its implications to him. Now, look, if the Tuohys did this to Michael Orr, I mean, that's pretty shady stuff. That's what he's alleging. That's what he's filed. But you got to figure the Tuohys in this whole thing. If this thing grossed $300 million at the box office, 2.5% of that's a lot of money, plus tens of millions more in home video sales. So they made a ton of money off of this deal. And if Michael Orr didn't make anything, then that's a travesty. And I hope he wins that said suit. So I just wanted to bring that to you because I just saw it. And I know we had talked about it a little bit earlier. But my gosh, man, if that happened, that's not good. Not good at all. So good luck to Michael, or if that's true, or just hopefully justice is done. But my goodness, that just sounds on the face of it just shady, really shady McShade stuff. So we'll continue to follow that story for sure. We're also, obviously, it's a day that ends in Y, so we're talking Dallas Cowboys, and the big news today is Zach Martin back in the fold. He and the Cowboys have agreed to restructure his deal. And they've done that in a way. Now, just to give you the backstory, if you don't remember, Zach Martin signed a 6-year deal 4 years ago. And at that time, it made him the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. He was the highest paid guy, averaged right about $13.5 million a year, somewhere in that neighborhood, although he's going to make $13.5 this year, $14 million next year. Well, they've agreed to redo the last 2 years of that deal. $18 million this year, $18 million next year. So he gets about an $8 million raise is what it comes out to. He's still not the highest paid offensive guard in the league. That's about a $20 million figure. So he compromised and they kind of met somewhere in the middle. But apparently Zach Martin's happy because, well, he got a raise. That's what he wanted. And the Cowboys have to be happy in this deal too, because they didn't want to extend Zach because he's about to turn 33 years old. In fact, he'll do that in November. So when that extension began, he would be almost, 35 years old, almost 36 years old. Well, I mean, for an offensive lineman, that's getting up there. The Cowboys didn't want to do that, put that much money on the line moving forward for an aging football player. So this turns out great for everybody. And the Cowboys need him. That offensive line was not good. Not good at all. In fact, Mike McCarthy was talking about the offensive line today. After the game on Saturday afternoon, he seemed a little concerned about it. But I guess after having a chance to watch the film, talk to some players, doing all that kind of stuff, well, he kind of changes his tune a little bit.
Well, the experience, number one, I think, we had, and I'm not into this kind of evaluation, but it is the facts. I mean, we're a player or two away from early, probably winning 10-0 as opposed to being down 7-0. So, and that's the beauty of what today is. You look at the things that went, the plays that went against us, and 99% of them come down to just trusting your fundamentals, trusting your technique, and then and then I think after that initial first quarter, I thought they settled in and played some really good football.
I guess I don't see it that way, but maybe he saw something in film that he liked. I just thought the offensive line was really the weak point of that game on Saturday. There were some good performances, and yes, Deuce Vaughn was one of them. He played well. I haven't felt like I've been disrespecting Deuce, although some people seem to think that I have. My goodness, I got when he scored that touchdown from 4 yards out. My phone blew up. Twitter blew up. I mean, it was like, hey, Joe, here's Deuce. He's the man. Look, I got to see some more. He looked good. He's slippery as all get out. I mean, my goodness, trying to tackle this guy is rough. Will he compete for that number 2 job? I can't sit here and say that. I don't think so. I still think he's going to make the 53-man roster. That is certainly a big possibility. But just imagine how McCarthy can use this guy out in space and getting him out in space. Although he looked a lot better, I have to admit, running between the tackles on Saturday than I thought he would. Having said all that, I'm going to reserve judgment for just a little bit. Now, the other thing that Mike McCarthy's working on in training camp, when something the Cowboys had some issues with last year, and that was the run defense. So that is certainly a big part of what they're working on now.
We'll double up on the run drills like we have been all through camp. We're doing twice as much in those early periods, this year than we've done the last 2 years. So that, that's definitely an emphasis for us. We know people, when they look at our defense, it's, they're going to challenge our run defense. They don't want to play all day against our pass rush, and it's been like that. It was really evident last year. You look at the games that, people were able to run the ball on us early, that you play against our defense. So obviously our run defense is an primary emphasis because, we win there. It puts us, in a position, as I would say, we play a little bit downhill with our pass rush, and our ability to go get the football in the secondary. So, we do the best we can, just get as much time on it while we're out here at Oxnard.
Yeah, they need to do that because that was a problem last year. Although I think with Mozzie Smith, with the way that defensive line looks, the way it looked when we were out there, they look solid. The whole defense does. I'm still not ready to say it's historic, although it could be. They're going to be very good. They're going to be very good. There is no doubt about that. That's going to be fun to watch. Cowboys, again, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again until I'm blue in the face or until they prove me wrong. When it comes to the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, in my mind, are the second best team going into the season. I'm going to put San Francisco ahead of them, but I'm going to put the Eagles behind them. I think the Eagles have a lot to overcome with losing their coordinators. They lost some defensive players. They drafted well. They've got some young players. So that's a good thing. But I still think the Cowboys have taken a step over them. And so I'm going to put the Eagles in at number 3. That's where I stand now. Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. And that's how I'll go into the season unless something happens over the next 2-3 weeks before we get things started. One thing that's not going to happen, it doesn't appear, that I wish would. And I'm not talking about a lot, but I think some of these starters, in particular number 4, Dak Prescott, should see a little playing time in the preseason. Not a lot, a series or 2, perhaps, just to shake some rust off. Get used to Mike McCarthy breathing heavy in his ear. I mean, all of those things, just it's a different voice. It's going to be. I just think it would do him some good to get into some game action. But according to Mike McCarthy, that's probably not going to happen.
I think it's really from experience. I've done it both ways. I think where your team is, what you think of your team. We feel very strongly about our roster. And I've always looked at roster development from the back forward, because we have a really good understanding of the guys that we have here that have established themselves in the locker room. So this is really the best format for roster development. Then the flip side of it is, and the most important side is, do you have the training available to make sure your team's ready for week 1? And I have a lot of confidence in the way we train and the way we compete against one another out here. So, I mean, to me, is what's the difference between us practicing together as opposed to practicing against another team and not playing your guys. So we've had a chance to practice against other teams the last 2 years. And I feel better about so far what we've been able to accomplish out here against each other. So that's part of it. So I'm all about the training, and the preparation is a critical part of how these first 4 or 5 games go each and every year in this league. September football is different. We recognize that. We feel our plan is very good to make sure we're ready to go against the Giants. But this format here, and the video this morning was really, really good, just to hear some of the younger players' comments. And it's always that way. You have a chance to talk through situations, and it's because you don't always have all the information when the game's over. So, but we definitely had an opportunity to grow from Saturday's contest and today. So that's why we'll have the mock game here, and we'll just go through the corrections of it.
So McCarthy's talking about the younger players, the second string guys, the depth players, getting some experience. And I get all of that. And that's what preseason ball games are for. But your veterans need a little game action, don't they? And when I look over and see a Patrick Mahomes in the ball game in preseason game number 1, does Andy Reid know something that maybe Mike McCarthy doesn't? Or is Andy Reid not as smart as Mike McCarthy? I don't think any of us would say that. I think Andy Reid is probably the best coach in the NFL right now. It's hard to argue that. So I guess it's just different philosophies. But, man, I would just like to see him just a first down or 2. No get him in trouble, tell him if he runs, we're going to shoot him. I mean, anything. You just you take care of him, but at least he can see game action. At least he can see what's going to happen. And I just hope that really, I mean, if he doesn't play in this next game, you figure he's not going to play in that third game. It'd be very difficult to see. So I would just like to see that happen. I really would. I want to see how he looks, but I don't think we're going to get that opportunity. Cowboys travel to Seattle this Saturday. It's a game you can hear right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And then they finish up the preseason against the LA Raiders at Jerry World the following Saturday. And then they get about 2 weeks off, 10 days or so off. Say that again, Pledge?
Vegas.
What'd I say?
LA.
LA Raiders. They used to be that.
It's been a while since they were in LA.
Jeez. I wish all these teams. I still say San Diego Chargers, for goodness sake. That's a problem.
Well, when Russell Westbrook, plays them, it'll make it very interesting.
Well, he might be better than Russell Wilson, quite frankly. I mentioned Russell Wilson earlier, and I said Russell Westbrook, and boy, I tell you what, people just boom, 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 boom. When did Russell Westbrook start playing football? He didn't. Slip of the tongue. Pledge, what do you got coming on with Extra Innings with Pledger today?
Well, as you've been talking about, a ton of news. What does Zach Martin mean coming back for the Dallas Cowboys? And, of course, Zeke Elliott no longer an option if they were dragging their feet, waiting to possibly see how this running back class paid out for him throughout preseason. If they felt uncomfortable.
Well, Deuce Vaughn's the man. He's won the job. He may overtake Tony Pollard.
He very well could.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you not see that touchdown run?
Oh, it was incredible. I heard all about it, and then I watched it. Yes.
I mean, everybody can bust a 4-yard touchdown run against third stringers.
I know it. It's really tough, but I mean, hey, Deuce Vaughn, he's the guy. I mean, the crowd was Deuce.
Let him be happy, Joe.
I try to temper people's expectations, Pledge. That's my job.
Well, that and the fact that the man that I got to co-host with this morning,
yes,
Rob Thompson, is going to be joining me. He'll get to react for the first time to this news that we've gotten today.
Well, Rob's going to be happy about that. He's a big Cowboys fan, so he's going to be happy about that. So that's coming up.
You? I saw the hat.
Yeah, I like my hat, huh?
This is a very cool looking hat.
It really is a cool looking hat. I have to admit, it's one of the old school hats. Apparently, they tell me it's a sideline hat that some of the coaches will be wearing from time to time, and it doesn't have the star on it, but it's got a cowboy riding a horse, and it's really cool. On the side says established 1960. So I found that when we were in Oxnard and got that hat, and I really liked it. So I wore it yesterday for the first time. And asked a simple question: does wearing this hat make me a Cowboys fan?
My question is, it's a nice color combination. Do you have any outfits that you could possibly take that baby out on the golf course with you?
I probably could find some. Yes. I don't know if I'm ready to play golf in it, but wearing it around.
What if you shoot 76 in it? Well, maybe it's your new lucky hat.
Well, then I'll wear it every time, Pledge. Every time. Extra Innings with Pledge. That is coming up. Man, this about does it for the Blitz. I tell you what, it's been a fun show today. Minix will make his way back tomorrow, but it's been fun. Thanks for staying with me here and getting all the breaking news with us. Wasn't that fun? Certainly was. Hey, before I go away, though, I want to tell you about something that I've been doing now for about a month or so, a little over that. It's called Toro Cosmeceuticals. Okay, it's a skincare product line. It is just for men. It's a luxury skincare product line, but it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. It's affordable. Good news is, though, it is only for men, just for men. It's everything you need, from face wash to moisturizer to toner to eye cream, shave and beard oil. And look, not only does it feel great going on, because it does, it can actually repair your skin. You're going to look healthier, and, well, quite frankly, you might look a little younger as well. Toro is simply a game changer. It's an experience. It's all for men.